I think it's time for Gwydion's Astral Podcast, episode 130. Now let's just forget that it's
my
here.
name is. No, never mind. I won't say it's LD.
So I was talking to one of my Enigma teachers, and he was saying that, like, I was telling him how I just feel like it amplifies the practice going to these places.
Yeah.
And then he said,
you already texted him about it?
Yeah, and he was telling me, like, there's a couple reasons. One, he says they consecrate the space, like, it's consecrated nonstop, right? And also the accumulated practice, of course, like we were talking about. The accumulated practice, like the one we mentioned yesterday, is an extremely well-known teacher, right? And like he was considered one of the greatest yogis in this region, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So him being there and just practicing like nonstop, basically. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That space is like sort of like sealed with that energy, basically, right? Like imprinted in the space. So so going there, he's like, it literally does rocket booster practice because
it's awesome.
of all the following factors.
I mean, what's interesting, my experience is that if I do get into like deeper states than normal in a retreat setting, those states are immediately more accessible and
the next
practice.
time exactly.
You know, like
it's like once you open the door, you can kind of
go in whenever you want. So, I mean, sometimes with like really high concentration states, it's like, okay, wow, I haven't been there in a year or something like that. But, But for the most part, like, if I get some level of depth, I think a big part of it is just like being able to allow it and relax into it and not feeling like, oh, I'm gonna die, so I can't let this happen or something like that, you know?
Right. Oh, pussy shit.
Or start feeling, that pussy shit.
Things like,
you know that pussy shit?
Oh, you have those.
Those child figures.
Oh, you're still dealing with that level. Hey, good luck with your practice.
Yeah, child. Yeah, don't worry. I'll see you in a couple
years. Oh, you're still in elementary level.
Yeah, seriously, in a couple years.
Me and Edward are in level 9.
Yeah, that teacher you're working with.
Hey, call us
really
back when you get to level 3, all right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's like a cold.
Yeah. That's such a good way to actually get cold members. You like start dissing people's practice if they actually have it. And you're like, oh, that's
like,
nice.
Oh, that was cute. I remember those days.
Yeah. I used to do that. That used to be that used to be one of my original practices when I first started.
Yeah.
It's one
of the
many good reasons. One of the many good reasons for keeping silent, I think, is to avoid putting yourself in a situation where people can do that.
Of course.
Manipulate.
Yeah, for sure.
If I walk around saying, when I attained enlightenment, you know, like, the people will be like, really?
Yeah.
Well, prove it, you know. Right. Like, I don't have to prove it.
Yeah.
That's how enlightened I am.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's easy to get definitely, I think there's value in secrecy of practice for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
And it's definitely easy to get confused or feel like,
it's easy to misunderstand.
But it can also be, in a cold setting, it can also be a breeding ground for all kinds of terrible
Yeah, of course.
And mental, anguish.
There's always a shadow side to these things, for sure. But I do think, like, at a certain point, you just trust your experience so much more than kind of just, like, somebody's offhanded remark that it doesn't matter. It's like,
exactly.
anybody can say whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And there's, like, the truth is just so obvious that I don't
usually
need to
their
worry about
motivation for making the offhanded remark is clear as day.
Yeah,
if you're in that state.
For sure.
And you don't even, maybe there's like a little ego burst that gets mad at them for it.
Yeah.
But ultimately you can have compassion and, understand where they're coming from, making the big statement.
Sure.
In their mind, I need to play the role of the false, like, new age, deluded person.
But it is really, I think for very early stages of practice, it is really dangerous to speak too much about what's happening. You have to really get like deeply seated in what you're doing before you can.
Well, it's easy to get caught up in appearances and stuff like that. Like you start obsessing over certain experiences.
Well, because the ego takes on the identity of the
absolutely
the practitioner.
I'm this fucking cool ass dude. I mean, it all, like, the nice thing about practice is that all of those become clear obscurations, right? Kind of like what you were saying before, and it's like, sorry. I mean, what was your name? El Capitan? El Capitan.
El Blanco. El Blanco.
El Negro, El Blanco, El Capitan. But it becomes obvious, like, you can't go any deeper because that thing is in, like,
you can see the obscurations in the moment. Yeah, exactly.
It's a clear contraction. Yeah.
What's interesting is, like, hearing all the stories of, like, there's so many masters in these areas, like in Nepal and India and stuff like that. So, like, one of the stories in this area that I heard is that there's like back in the 60s and 70s, white people were like flocking to India like after taking acid, right? And learning either like Hinduism or Vajrayana and things like that. And so when you take on like a Vajrayana guru, generally you receive an empowerment or initiation. You have like a practice commitment, right? Like, so say you take on Vajrayogini, okay, you got to do, you know, every day a little bit of practice. You have to do 100,000 accumulations, right? Yeah. So there's stories of like the guy, one of these monasteries here. The guy goes back to America. It's a couple actually. They come, they get the empowerment. They go back to America. This guru hadn't seen these students in like 10 years or whatever, right? All of a sudden, like one of the head office guys comes. Oh, there's these like 2 white people here. He's telling the Rinpoche, right? There's like 2 white people here. I'm not sure. Like you might not even know them. Like I don't know. They said that they met you like 10 years ago and got like empowerment. And he goes, oh yeah, I know. They came because they broke their samaya. That's why. Like it's like subtle ways of showing cities. You know what I mean? Like you think of cities like showing attainment. Like oh, he's moving through walls, or well, you know, like kind of like over the top kind of superhero shit. Right. But I feel like the most like strong cities are the subtle ones where he's like he already knew like that they were having a clear memory. They were coming. He's like, oh, you didn't need to tell me. Yeah, they broke samaya. He's like, I don't know why they're here. The head office guy, kind of like when we came and we had that guy open the door. He's like, why are these white people here? And like the guy's like, oh, it's because they broke their samaya. That's why they came to like, you know what I mean? Isn't that a trip? But that's like subtle city shit. Yeah. Student teacher connections. Yeah.
And I mean, from a certain perspective, it's like most people have so much junk, you know, like a computer that has, you know, a bunch of viruses or something, you know, a bunch of you know, malware and stuff. So it takes 30 seconds for something to load up. So a CD means it takes a split second for it to load up, which is actually what the computer's supposed to do. If it weren't for all this extraneous crap.
Because it's just ultimately like lucid, clairvoyant, clear, you know?
I mean, you've got 100,000 advertisements floating around in your subconscious.
It's so funny. Justin said it, he was like, the ego is like you're in a mansion filled with trash everywhere.
That's funny. Yeah.
Like that public restroom in the...
Oh, yeah. That's my best restroom of all time.
Oh, dude, that's a subtle city.
So you know what I did? Dude, I went there. Dude, that was a gory level. That was a gory level practice. That was a gory level, dude. That was left-hand pasture right there.
Oh my god.
Dude, what if I just sat in that? That's the nastiest bathroom I've seen in my life. What if I just sat in there and meditated for 24 hours?
For the sake, oh my god, you would have definitely.
I'll probably go rainbow body and just fucking dissolve into particles. I'd be Padma Sambhava. Walk through the wall and shit.
Okay, so we were walking in Darjeeling. I think it was like 2 days ago or 3 days ago. Walking down a hill, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I have to go to the bathroom so bad," because they can't hold their bladders. And they see a public restroom that's like off, down in the descent, off to the side, made of rock, like covered in graffiti. Like you can smell this bathroom.
Piles of shit everywhere. Piles of shit everywhere.
Literally from like 30 meters away, you can smell it wafting out of the bathroom. There's like a dark crevasse, kind of like a cave or something like that. Yeah, and then Ryan's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm going straight into this."
Tunnels of set.
And you can tell. You can tell.
It was very cliphotic.
From my perspective, you can tell.
Tunnels of set.
He walks like to the entrance, and you can see that there's like a moment of hesitation, and he's just gonna piss. He's gonna piss right at the entrance instead of going actually all the way in. And then he takes like 3 additional steps into the darkness.
Because I needed to go deep.
I couldn't. Some of my worst memories in my life are remembering porta potties where I've seen people's shit stacked up on. You were talking about that toilet you've seen, where you've seen like
Mardi Gras.
Literally, people
like a
will
big
just
pile on top of where you're
keep shitting on top of the shit and
like
on top of the shit.
You have to stand and like I don't know
until the shit like protrudes above the lid, and it's like the fear and the anxiety and the disgust. It's such a like it's actually incredible that you did that. If you sat there for 24 hours, honestly, I would probably you would be my.
I was actually I'm surprised that I could. I'm surprised I could last a minute.
That shit was scary. I
had to hold my breath after.
Because you're just like flashbacks for the rest.
No, but once I got out of there, dude, I had like throw up in my mouth. Honestly.
But the rest of the day was.
You didn't see me almost yak? I almost yacked.
You told me. You're like, dude, I almost threw up. I'm like,
I had the acids coming out of my stomach.
It's like you're like actually traumatizing yourself. You know, like you're all good fun.
It's all life, man.
Yo, it's life, bro.
Pleasure, pain, you know, clean bathroom, dirty bathroom.
Yeah, it's all the same.
They're all non-dual.
Non-dual, bro. Non-dual.
Non-dual,
you're just less non-dual because you weren't willing. You weren't willing to go there with us. So like,
number 2.
You have not as much non-duality.
No, number 2.
Right. That's why you're gonna like that book that I told you to buy.
Yeah.
There's all these stories of him like showing like everyone's like scared to go in a bathroom.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I'll just go there, and he just like sits and like practices it. And then, but that's like showing like he's just
he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Dude, you're gonna love that book.
His ability to see emptiness is very clear.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like how he like taints all the demons to be like bodhisattvas and stuff. That's pretty cool too.
Diogenes was some kind of like like an Agori master. You know Diogenes?
No.
Oh, he was a Greek philosopher, and he would like bark at people and live like a dog and stuff like that. But then he'd do things like walk around naked in the town square with a lantern during high noon.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Why do you have a lantern?" He's like, "I'm looking for an honest man."
It's like literally trolling people.
That's funny.
And there's like stories like Alexander the Great was like approached him, and Diogenes said, "You're blocking my sun. Could you move, please?" And Alexander the Great says, "If I were not Alexander the Great, I would be Diogenes." And Diogenes said, "If I were not Diogenes, I would also want to be Diogenes."
That's funny.
That's funny. That is good.
Yeah, I mean, it's an extremely powerful way to work, right? You're just like any thought of like slight resistance to anything, you just immediately throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
And then
that's why I respect those Agori. When you see what they're doing, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, it's super countercultural and like crazy and shit like that. But
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like them.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Them embracing like all the fucking disgust of the world.
They're just pushing their practice as hard as it can go, right?
Yep.
Right.
You have to challenge yourself. Like, I mean, at least in my experience, it's not like you can just fucking get someplace and then all of a sudden it will naturally deepen. You have to continually.
So that's why you came in the bathroom with us, right?
Yeah.
Because you're really going deep.
Yeah. That was too far.
This guy's idea of retreat is like fucking Ramada, and he's like, let me go deep. I'm gonna.
Massage.
He meditates inside of the Hilton. Then he orders
double bed, elevated bed.
He orders steaks in.
Yeah. Double steak.
They give you that like
double
prayer,
steak Chipotle burrito
that prayer
bowl.
thing that that you go when you go in a temple. They give you that. I don't know what it's called. It's like a scarf, like a prayer. Scarf.
Like a shawl kind of thing.
Yeah, they have those. It says Ramada on it.
Oh my god!
I got one.
Oh my god, dude!
Like,
fucking elitist.
Fucking branding. Yeah.
Fucking branding.
Look at me.
Got my logo on my.
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, props. I wouldn't have wanted. I mean, I don't feel a need to challenge myself that much. I guess at this point, not all of us can be you, bro.
Yeah. You do you.
From the Ramada to the porta potty.
Yeah.
Well, so, look, dude, literally, it's like still some of the worst memories of my life are just disgusting bathrooms that I've been in. It's like, how many of those do I want before I die, where I have to experience those in a flashback? Maybe there's a whole lifetime I had.
You're gonna reincarnate into like
poop land.
Yeah, poop land. Yeah, poop land. So it's like one of the 8 hells. It's like you're surrounded by shit nonstop.
It's like this is where This is where your true training lies, young Padawan. It's like this is where you resisted all of your life. No, you were supposed to go balls deep in this shit because you avoided it. Now you have to do this.
There was an underground parking lot under a hotel in I forget which island in Hawaii when I was like 8 years old with like a septic leak and like trying to get from your car to the to the elevator.
Yeah,
man, that was a challenge. That's one of those memories that'll never go away.
You guys should read the descriptions of like the 8 Buddhist hells. There's a book called Words of My Perfect Teacher. It's a really good foundational tantric book in Buddhism, and it has a whole section on the 8 Buddhist hells in detail with like stories of different yogis talking about it. And one of them's like guys who are rapists, basically. And so it's like guys who are like crazy rapists. Basically, what happens? They're in this hell. They see there's like a tree, right? And they see like a super hot girl that they're into, like their ideal type, basically. On top of trees, like I'm gonna go rape that bitch. Like so they climb. They're like, I just gotta make it to the top of the tree. And they always fall into like razors and fire and shit like that. And then they suffer, and then they get like let back up, like the chick again, and just like nonstop like cycles of like getting
until they
burnt and scorched.
Break the cycle.
Yeah, until they break the cycle. Yeah, it's like a bardo. Yeah,
and exactly. They can graduate.
Isn't that crazy?
That sounds like my experience of pickup minus the fucking rape aspect.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a rapist in a past life or something. I'm like, I'm almost there. It's gonna happen.
That's why I have to rape you to repay your karmic debt, dude. This needs to be paid off somehow.
I see.
So either you can go to that hell, or I can just do the job for you.
How much do I gotta pay?
And you just transfer me. I bang you.
I'll do the deed for you. It's a service I provide.
I give you an anal job, and then you pay me. $5,000.
Yeah, I know a guy who can bleach that shit first for you too. It's a whole package. I pick you up from the airport, you get your ass bleached, and then we role play rape.
Oh jeez.
Oh my god. I'm really sorry about these guys.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. We're very weird people. What other descriptions are there in hell?
The hells, there's like the really cold hells, where you're just like non-stop suffering from freezing, and there's no, you know what I mean? You can't find it. Like you're searching around for like heat or like clothes, and you just can't find it. You know? There's the hot hells, right? Where you're just like melting non-stop, thirsty as fuck, basically, right? What were some other ones?
The Hungry Ghosts.
Hungry Ghost Realm, yeah, Hungry Ghost Realm. That's 4 of them.
Well,
I can't remember all.
Hungry Ghost is separate from the hells.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so the Hungry
Hungry
Ghost Realm is below the animal realm.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, the 8 hells are separate,
And then
actually. Yeah.
humans, demigods, gods.
Yeah. Exactly.
All of which are in samsara. So like that Mara.
But actually, the humans are considered slightly. It's better to be a human because you can
practice.
Yeah,
the potential to become.
Because the potential. Yeah, exactly. Whereas the gods are kind of content.
Right. If you're a demigod or a god, you're probably not going to go to nirvana from there.
Yeah, they're content in their
So
status.
humans have a kind of unique.
Yeah.
So like human birth is like congratulations. You're
right.
There's only one more step left until.
What the gods? Why they made it there is they had the merit, right? Like they accumulated so much merit that
a whole bunch of
they got to
karma.
like a good, basically like a pure land.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the prajna, the insight.
Eventually,
So they didn't have the insight. They didn't have the actual realization.
Right.
So it's like, you know what I mean? They did good deeds, but they didn't have the actual view.
And then eventually their worshippers forget them. Their wells dry up. Their statues crumble.
And then they go back down.
They go to the hells.
I see.
Yeah. I was blown away by that description. In Padmasambhava was talking about that in Lotus Board.
Yeah.
That blew me away. Just that approach towards the definition of the gods. You know, like it's a trip.
Yeah.
It's a trip. Because I mean, like that's the aspiration of all pharaohs. Is to become that kind of god.
Right.
And it just knocks that down. Like, okay, well, if you succeed, here's what happens next. 5,000 years later, everybody's forgotten your name. And then you go to hell,
Just a crumbling statue.
Well,
No,
maybe I should think about.
No, then you become a statue. You become a statue in Darjeeling, and then Edward buys you for like 3,500 rupees. But then you're such a low-level god that Edward haggles to like bring you down to like 2,000.
And then you lose merit that way.
Yeah, then you lose merit. Yeah, exactly.
Then you're cursed to sit and watch him edit his YouTube videos for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
Man, but what about
this is Kung, right?
We were here.
Yeah. You know what are the coolest relics are the some of my teachers have relics of like really famous yogis. So what they do is basically they burn the body and like all the bones become like the relics, right?
Yeah.
And they have like
They can't
manifestation.
burn them, right? They
They become
indestructible.
Yeah. There's certain manifestations like within the bones. Like it becomes sort of I forgot exactly.
I've never seen it. I've always wanted to see.
There's some on display in certain monasteries. You can actually go and see these relics. Yeah. No, but they look different than. Yeah.
What do they look like? Diamonds?
Yeah, something like that, like goldish. Yeah, exactly.
That's so
they become
weird.
Yeah. So check it out, like really famous, like Dujam Rinpoche. They burn his body, then they'll put some of those relics into statues, and then they consecrate it, and that's like your.
Or sometimes
it's like being in a monastery, basically. Like you have that level within your house. And stupas, exactly. Stupas. Most of these monasteries, inside of the stupas, there's like crazy realized yogis burned in there.
Yeah.
Or buried in there, sorry.
I heard a rumor that when the big earthquake hit in Nepal, Bodhanath Stupa shifted a little bit and ancient gold coins like started spilling out from inside of it. I don't know if that's true, but this sounds like a rumor.
Sounds pretty dope.
Yeah.
They hit the jackpot?
Apparently
you got 777?
Like there are like actual bodies of monks in Thailand and stuff that are just like the bodies have been left for a long period of time and they never decomposed. In the tropics. That's insane.
Right. That's
crazy.
In the origin story of the Rosicrucians, the founder of Christian Rosenkreuz. They buried him in that seven-sided room.
Yeah.
And then they found him 100 years later, not decomposed at all.
What the fuck? That's so weird. How can you be like a pure rationalist and see these things and then just like be like, nah, this is bullshit.
I mean, some of it's bullshit.
Some of it's bullshit.
Some of it
is, also, the way they described, there was a light that I mean, this was way before light bulbs.
Right.
There was a light in the ceiling of the vault, and it continually glowed, and it learned how to glow from the sun. It sounds like
that's
fusion.
So weird. Yeah, that's so weird.
It's like someone in the 1500s describing fusion.
Right.
It learned from the sun.
What about like? There's a good documentary you guys should check out. It came out probably like 3 months ago. It's called Tukdam. So it documents yogis, like Vajrayana yogis who do a certain practice before death, right? And so basically they die, but they stay in meditation. Their body doesn't decompose for like a very, very long time.
Right.
So basically it's like their subtle mind is still in meditation. It's a trippy documentary, yeah. Just check it out.
It's always a trip to see, like, a skeleton that's sitting in lotus position. Like, oh my god. They were in meditation.
Yeah.
They fucking died.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of weird? So, like, from a practical perspective, the lotus position, most modern teachers don't teach it because it fucks your hips up.
It messes your knees up.
Yeah.
Mostly permanent knee damage.
Right.
Like, if you look
And
at
then
pictures
that's
of
lawsuits, so that's why people don't teach it. Yeah.
But if you look at Ramana Maharshi, for example, his legs just look destroyed, like completely like maimed, like horse level.
Yeah.
Wow, it's disgusting.
I've seen that.
It's
That's
disgusting.
why. Have you ever seen the meditation belts that the Tibetan yogis use?
No.
Yeah, because you sit in a comfortable position,
Yeah.
and the belt holds you into position, so, so
you
you don't
can
have
just
to apply
relax
effort.
into it.
That way, you know, it makes a lot of sense. You can buy those meditations.
I use like a bathrobe strap to like hold myself in perfect vertical position so I could just relax in that position.
Well, you see, like Milarepa, he always has the rope around him.
Right.
That's the meditation belt.
They give Iyengar credit for that.
They give who?
Iyengar?
The original yoga. He's the guy who exported yoga to the West, right?
He was one of them. It was him and then Patabi Joyce. They were both students of the same teacher, but
They give him credit for what? Bringing that to the West?
he was one of them. I mean, he was one of the big.
It's like he didn't invent it. It's like thousands of yogis been doing it for like in the Himalayas since like.
All you have to do is bring it to the West and charge $9.99.
The interesting thing there is
Patabi
Joyce started Ashtanga yoga, which is that very militarized, like the same 100 poses every time and all this.
Right.
And then Iyengar, he'd have people stay in the same pose for like 20-30 minutes.
Wow.
And then he used straps and blocks because he was mangled from like a motorcycle accident.
Oh wow.
And so, but they both had the same teacher, and that teacher gave them, customized instruction for their path. And then what they did was they took the yoga that they learned, and then taught it as a one-size-fits-all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, but they're two different schools, but they're only one step removed from one like famous teacher.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's a trip.
Yeah, dude, I just think at the end of the day, like, most teaching happens in a one-to-one scenario. You need to know what your personal weaknesses are, and you have to work on those. Yeah. Because otherwise, you'll just never get better.
Yeah. The one-size-fits-all approach, I think, never is.
That's why I like going to my temple. Like when I'm doing like Trekchud, which is like the Dzogchen meditation.
Right.
My teacher will be like, he told me like, tongue up, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
It's like I'm sucking spit, and then also it's like it puts a smile on your face. He told me there's two reasons. He told me this last session. He's like, there's two reasons you should do that. A lot of meditation manuals say that too, right? Like it's a common thing, like with the tip of your tongue. He said it's for the spit, but then also, in his opinion, he says it makes you smile, which brings joy. It puts you in a joy state instead of just blank stare, kind of, or like, you know what I mean?
The secret of the golden flower, I think, talks about that. To push up on the soft. Soft part.
Soft palate.
That's a few soft inches below the third eye, I think is the phrase they use.
Right. But also actually puts like a small grin on your face too. Because you never see the Buddha like frowning or like looking.
The ascetic posture you do.
Well, yeah. When he was getting all fucked up. He's following those fucking Jains.
It was a bad idea.
The hungry Buddha. There's like you can see his like rib bones and shit.
Yeah.
Bodhidharma was pretty darn serious, though. At least in the statues.
That's true. That's true.
Guy who first patriarch of Chan.
Which actually, what'll be cool is when we go to Bodh Gaya, we can see like every tradition. There'll be like the Tibetan, the Indian, Buddhist, the Japanese Zen. Like literally every tradition will have their temples there. It'll be interesting to see like just the aesthetic differences and like how they portray everything. That's what I like when I travel. Like going to Thailand, the temples are so beautiful with like the golden roofs and like their portrayal of Buddha, right? And they always have like Garudas all around and stuff. What's up?
Do you think they crossplay where like a Zen monk might be like, oh, I'm going to go take a course at the...
They should.
I had a teacher. He was a very, very old, very thin vegan Zen. In his lineage, he was a Zen patriarch, which is like pretty impressive. Like he could trace his lineage back to Bodhidharma.
Wow.
But he was also a very serious yoga practitioner, and he had Shiva underneath, like there'd be Canon, the 1,000-arm Canon, basically Avalokiteshvara. Yeah. But he had Shiva there too, and he explained that Avalokiteshvara was a what's the word? Emanation or manifestation? What's the word?
Emanation.
An avatar or something of Shiva, from his perspective.
Sure.
And it could be. I mean, because I had thought that I was like. I mean, Alan Watts helped a bit. Like showing how Zen is literally dhyana meditation, the seventh of the 8 steps in the wheel of, or the eightfold yoga, and so
8 limbs of yoga.
Yeah. So this guy, this Zen, he was a yoga teacher, but the way that he taught it was traditional hatha yoga, but so slow. It was like these sun salutations, and he was taking one breath, where I had to take like 6 breaths. For every one breath he was taking, I was taking 6. And gosh, he was pretty cool. But
that's cool.
But yeah,
that is crazy.
There was a guy that
you gotta respect the cross trainers, like the people who like even in Korea, like who brought our temple to Korea, their Vajrayana temple from here in India. So it was a famous Korean monk who like wrote a bunch of books, and he's like really went on like 3-year Zen retreats in Korea. But he's like, I need to connect with like India and like the other lineages. So then he went to India and brought teachers, like well-known teachers from good monasteries, to Korea, so that he could learn Tantra.
That's like what the Japanese used to do in the early Buddhist days. They'd go find like a pretty impressive Buddhist guy, and then bring him back as like a patriarch of Buddhism in Japan. That was Bodhisattva's kind of story. He was Bodhisattva was, they call him a Buddhist Brahmin. In other words, he was from a Brahmin family, and he was raised to, with all the training, the Sanskrit and everything, and then became Buddhist. And then so he was in China, and he met one of the emperor's aides, and the emperor's aide took him to the emperor, and then he met there was the man that was the head of the emperor endorsed Buddhism at the time, and as soon as Bodhisattva saw him, he said, Manjushri, it's been so long, it's me, Maitreya. And not Maitreya, the Buddha yet to come, but Maitreya.
It's like they're emanations of those.
He was saying like we're reincarnations. Right. So Maitreya was like the sort of ignorant student in Lotus Sutra. And he meets Manjushri, and Manjushri explains to him everything that's happening. He's like,
that's how the narrative plays out.
Yeah, he says, in a past life, I met a former Buddha who also gave the Lotus Sutra, and what's happening here is Siddhartha Gautama is about to give the Lotus Sutra. And so by doing that, he like gave veracity or whatever to the establishment Buddhism, and also kind of like established a link between himself. It was sort of a clever.
That's cool.
I mean, if it was genuine, it was genuine. But,
sure.
But if it was
not
clever,
just for show.
It was clever.
That's just a stunt. Like, look what I brought. Yeah. I got the original dog from India.
So Bodhisattva used Sanskrit to help them develop the Japanese alphabet at the time. Not the Chinese characters, obviously. But
like hiragana and stuff?
What sort of evolved into that, and then translated the Heart Sutra. Mata Hanya Hara Mita Jisho Kengo Unkai Kudo.
What's interesting about the Mahayana Sutras is like some of them are clearly like they were started in Sanskrit. They were all written in India, right? And then other ones. What gets interesting because really Mahayana
the ones that are
from
forgeries.
There's
try to make a Sanskrit version, but it turns out it's not as old as the Chinese version.
Yeah, exactly. Like look at the Avatamsaka Sutra, which is huge in Korea and like a lot of Mahayana, right? That sutra, like there's parts of it that they have the original Sanskrit, and then there's other. It's such a long book. There's like each chapter is like a whole book in itself, right?
That's
like
the
it goes
flower.
The flower ornament. Because there's like the chapter on the bhumis, what is it, the 11 or no 12 bhumis? I forgot. Anyways, like the different stages of the Bodhisattva, right? And some of them are like Sanskrit. Then there's other chapters that the originals are actually Chinese because they actually can predate it, and then they reverse translate them to Sanskrit. That's crazy. So there's like it's not as linear as you think. It's not like Sanskrit.
It all
and then they
comes
translate
from
it
this
to
one dude in India.
No, but it's happening so non-linearly. Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it's all happening in dialogue and
exactly.
And group discussions and like all this kind of stuff.
But the cool thing, one cool thing about all that was when Bodhisattva was doing all that, translating all that, Kukai was at the monastery, but he was young. And so he grew up watching Bodhisattva do all this. And then he later went to China and got initiated in a Vajrayana lineage and came back and established Shingon.
Oh, that's
so like they all kind of knew each other back then. That was in Nara.
That's interesting. That was in where? Oh, Nara.
Nara in like the 800s or something, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was all right around the same time as Padmasambhava and Vimalamitra. Vimalamitra was supposed to have gone into China.
So this is like 8th century, basically,
right?
Roughly, yeah.
So after Vimalamitra translated,
he went to China.
He went to China, and then I think he met Kukai. If not, there was like 1 degree of separation between Vimalamitra and Kukai.
Yeah.
So that's a trip.
Man, those 17 Dzogchen Tantras that Vimalamitra brought back, those are fucking insane. Like, I started reading, like, little bits and pieces of it. Oh, because only 4 have been translated to English so far. And they're fucking trippy as fuck. Like, dude, what the fuck? It's like, this feels like you're reading some, like, extra-dimensional... Like, how the fuck did this happen? You know what I mean? You're reading it like, whoa. Like, just how detailed...
Those monks were getting far out.
Yeah.
But, like, sitting on top of a mountain in the Himalayas, it's easy to... I mean, it's easy to imagine someone being able to kind of tap into other levels, you know, more so than on the ground.
I like how it says, like, this teaching, like, these tantras exist in this world, but also, like, 9 other universes and solar systems, and you know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
But then they'll say which ones it doesn't exist in yet, and then predict when it'll go.
Right.
Get introduced to.
It's almost like these cosmic seeds or whatever that get planted. It's interesting.
Yeah.
What's crazy is like how violent the Mongols were and how they took over the world and just fucked shit up, and then how they converted to Vajrayana.
Right.
Like what was it? Was it Kublai Khan or his son? I forgot. But he ended up creating the term the Dalai Lama. I think it was the 3rd Dalai Lama. So they converted. He was like their spiritual leader of that's how he became like the leader of like Tibet, and also spiritual leader, kind of like the Pope of Mongolia, right?
Yeah.
And Dalai means like what, vast or something, like oceanic. It's like the oceanic, vast, spacious teacher. That's Dalai Lama, basically. That's what it means.
That's cool.
Yeah. But Tibetans actually, they don't call him Dalai Lama. They call him, what is it? It's the same meaning, but it's like what? Gyala Rinpoche or something. Forgot. Gyala Rinpoche. Yeah.
Sogyal also means ocean, like vast ocean.
Sogyal?
The Sogyal's from
Yeshi means wisdom.
Dzogchen tradition.
Yeah.
So she's like the wisdom of the vast ocean, or vast ocean of wisdom, or something.
Like, they all fucking badass names, huh?
Yeah.
Like Native Americans.
Not like mine. Rich Guardian Sky.
You know what I mean? They have like
Sky Fox.
Sky Arrow. Yeah.
I'm Star Fox.
And what does it mean? I like how those that girl from Mumbai. What is your name? Orion. And what does it mean? I like that.
Tell me who you are.
That was cute, right?
Who are you?
What is the origin of your name?
Yeah. Ryan is a white boy's name.
Yeah. It means white trash. It translates to like peasant.
To the whitest. Yeah, the whitest of the white.
When I was doing To Be a Yogi podcast,
whiteness.
I'd always start out, what's your name and what does it mean?
Yeah.
And I'd let them know in advance, because not everybody knows the meaning of their name.
Right.
And so there was this couple, and it was Indian and white guy, and talking about meanings of names, and he's like, yeah, in white people names, they don't even have any meaning. Like Peter, what does that mean? And I was like, it means the rock upon which the church would be built. It's like
they all actually do have meanings.
They have meanings.
It's just been so divorced from like,
forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like in Asian, like for example, like in Korea or Japan or China, the names are like written into the character.
Yeah.
Like the meaning, like you can see the meaning.
It's
you
like
can read the
Western
character.
flower or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing because like when you listen to names in those languages and it's your and you start to understand the meanings, you're like, these names are basic in their definition. Yeah, it's like the Rock of the West, or like the steel of the sun, or something like that.
Right.
You know, it's always related to kind of like our experience being part of the land.
Right.
Or kind of, and you know, if you come from a priest family or something like that, it's like, higher ordeals,
right,
or kingliness, or
dignity,
or something like that.
Yeah, always royal.
I'm the dignified
never
one.
Small peasant or anything like that. The dirty peasant from the porta potty. What's your name translate to?
Porta potty
boy. Porto boy. Yeah. They call me PB for short.
Yeah, porta potty boy. Yo, PB, what's good?
What it do?
Yeah, what that porta potty do?
Dude, that last podcast that we recorded, that would be like, dude, that'd be fucking intense to listen to. Like, there's
I don't
probably
know if
like
I could listen back to it.
I don't think I could, yeah, because we're too
It's
cancelable.
too much.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to ask you. If I listen back to it, I'd be like, dude, you got to take this down.
You should never listen to it because we're going to be like, dude. Well, luckily our names are not on it or anything.
Well, no, I said like...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, actually I didn't say it. You know, yeah, it's totally anonymous. So.
Yeah,
don't even bother listening to it, really.
Huh? Hello? Good morning. How are you? Oh, I don't have a Xerox of it. I just have the original. It's an OCI, but these two guys have passports. They have a copy machine near the. I went through this border before last year. There's a place where we can make a copy. It's just not in the office.
This is interesting. Like going to a whole nother fucking country.
Yeah.
It literally is.
Yeah, they also have a place where you can take your photo. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Miss Elizabeth.
We're flying out from Gangtok.
Yeah, me too.
He looks like a cool hippie too. He's like, yeah.
He's a funny guy.
Okay, Darjeeling, brother.
Yeah.
Looks like he plays and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know that.
Definitely.
Probably knows mom.
Yeah,
He's probably there.
to make a
Probably there eating.
We'll make photocopies of passports, and there's a place where they'll take our picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just like that.
Oh, I miss my mom already.
So I have 3 places to go. Xerox, photo. Well, that counts as one. Okay. And then the one government office where we, get the application, and then another government office where we submit the application.
Okay.
It takes whole process is like 30 minutes?
That's what they say, but 30, 45.
Depends on how many people are there, yeah.
It depends, exactly, on how long the line
It'd be
is.
nice to just get out of the car and move around.
Yeah,
and then you kind of sit at a table, with these 2 officials, and they ask you a few questions.
Okay.
So, they might be curious, we're all Americans, so they might not wonder too much how you all know each other.
Right, yeah.
But,
True.
the internet.
Yeah.
We say we're friends from America.
Yeah.
From that checkpoint or the immigration place, how far is it into actual Gangtok?
Like another couple hours.
Oh, that's perfect then, because it's like a little rest point for us. You know what I mean? I'd want to get out anyways. At that
It's
point.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's between the 2 mountains.
Oh, that's cool. Okay,
So
that's actually perfect.
So you get to the bottom of the mountain, cross the river, and then go a little ways, and then there's the checkpoint.
That's so weird. Man. We're way up in the hills and Dish TV, these American satellite companies and shit. You see that Dish Network and
1,500 channels, baby.
Yeah. Living up here, they got everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of funny. When I left California for Nepal, I was imagining I was going to be off the grid. But it's
right.
You still have the internet. Right. You have Wi-Fi wherever you go.
We on the grid.
Yeah, the grid is big.
Yeah.
When
if only trees had Wi-Fi, though, right?
Yeah, like my shirt says.
The moon.
Trees make Wi-Fi, according to my shirt.
We would plant them everywhere. If only trees would Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
One who plants trees loves others.
Yeah.
What is it? Something like that.
What if you just brainwash people more trees, more Wi-Fi? We'd be like, dude, our planet would be so good.
Dude, we can look at the cause and effect. As we had more... Actually, I don't even know. I think this is totally inversely related.
Well, that's one of the positives. One of the positives of an authoritarian society is if the leader decides, I want to plant 500 billion trees.
Yeah.
I want to turn this desert into a forest.
Right.
And get it done. You can actually get it done.
Yeah.
Well, we got a bunch of soldiers.
All you have to do is pull people out of their houses.
Yeah. Or if you have an army and you're not at war,
right?
Yeah.
You guys want to take a break from training and go plant some trees?
That'd be fun. Yeah. Why don't we use our military for that occasionally? I guess because it would put you at risk, right?
Yeah, but how do the weapons contractors make money out of it? There has to be a way that the companies could make profit.
Well, dude, I honestly, if I sat in a lab for 3 years, I could figure out how to make weapons out of trees. Just give me enough time.
Yeah.
Give me enough time.
Word.
Don't worry. This entire forest is actually militarized.
Yeah. Right.
If I tap 3 times, 900 of these trees will emit radiation, and then expel their branches at a velocity of 500 miles per hour towards the west, which is, so luckily pointed in the direction of China or something.
Conveniently. Yeah.
It's
that's funny.
Well, Well, I guess AKs need to have wood. You know, there's like the wood part of the AK.
Right.
Yeah, but you could always just make that out of plastic. Right?
That's true.
That's true.
But plastic requires oil, so it's a matter of cost to benefit ratio.
Which one's cheaper? Yeah, if you have more trees, you can make them cheaper and then just chop all of them down again.
Yeah, replace plastic.
Yeah. Let's just make everything out of wood.
When plastic was new, it was like a luxury item. So like the handrails on the Queen Mary were plastic.
It was like gold back then.
Not that,
it was like it was like high tech.
So now you touch something plastic, you're like disgusted.
Gross.
Yeah.
Get it away from me.
My grandparents had fancy plastic cups behind glass.
What the hell? That's so weird.
From like the 40s.
That's funny.
They're old cups.
Look at what we made out of oil.
They're like, we're so rich we can afford plastic cups.
That's so funny.
So when you're to go back to our breakfast conversation.
Yeah.
So your grandpa was in Shanghai.
Oh yeah,
and then
my
the
other
Japanese,
grandpa was the one with the plastic cups.
No, but when the Japanese invaded, did he go back to America?
It was around.
Did he evacuate?
It was around November of 1940.
Yeah.
So I'm not good on my World War II timeline. So I don't know exactly when that was in relation to when the invasion happened. But I think it was after. I mean, I don't know how long after, but it was after the invasion.
Okay.
And they were saying, yeah, it's because there was a period of time. Basically, the Japanese soldiers were doing like, you know, target practice and like doing drills and stuff like right out in front of my grandparents' house while my dad was being born in the house.
That's crazy.
And yeah, so
luckily they got the fuck out of there.
Yeah, they got out. My dad was 6 months old. They left on the SS President Coolidge.
Yeah.
And then that ended up at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean later.
I remember when I read The Rape of Nanjing, they because they had like that whole the Germans like partitioned a part of Nanjing. So they had like this line that the Japanese weren't supposed to. I don't think they did cross it. I don't recall, but because they were just decimating people. They killed like 300,000 people in a month. But like the foreigners could be part of this like protection zone, like a DMZ kind of thing. Yeah. And so that's why most of the reports are like foreigners just saw all this shit happen, or like Chinese people who survived it. You know,
it's crazy.
Right.
There's actually so the book, if you get The Rape of Nanjing, I think it was like a German photographer who was in the DMZ basically, and he was just like taking photos of like Japanese just cutting people's heads and like burning children alive and shit like that.
I have to admit that probably won't make it onto my reading list.
On Rape of Nanjing? Yeah, it's disturbing. It's disturbing. I read it for a history class in America.
I have a long reading list, and I get through about one book every couple years. So
that's disturbing.
Maybe
it's like reading like the Holocaust book, or you know.
The real disturbing thing is that you know you only get through a book every couple of years.
That's funny.
Yeah. Wait, what were you saying though?
What's up?
You were saying more about the book.
Oh, about The Rape of Nanjing?
Yeah.
Oh, just the photography. Like, it's pretty good quality. I mean, it's black and white, but it's just all these foreigners that were there at the time, like, witnessing the ship go down, you know?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Like, the memorable parts were, like... And then also, I knew a Chinese girl in San Francisco who, her grandpa survived it, so he had all, like, the first-hand accounts. Just, like, crazy shit they were doing. Insane. Like, and then the book, you can see pictures of it. Like, they'd round up, like, elementary students, put them in a hole, like, build a hole in the ground, or, like, dig a hole, put gasoline and burn them on fire, or, like, they're, like, test anthrax on them and shit like that. Yeah.
Crazy. Who thinks this is a good idea? I mean, it's total group think, right? It's like, oh, if I do this, like, my family will be safe, like, these people are horrible. You know,
and they'd, like, they'd go, like, house to house looking for, like, the hottest girls, and they'd all gang rape them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Like I was telling Edward, the disturbing part about the Japanese shit is all of those people just became the heads of corporations and the political parties in Japan.
There was no Nuremberg
trial. Yeah, so that's
trial,
why, like, there was no Nuremberg trial. They were never accounted for. Like, Shinzo Abe's dad was one of those guys.
Oh,
he was a general in China during that time.
Damn.
Just, like, decimating kids and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then they ended up becoming, you know, prime minister, heads of Honda, Toyota.
Which is why kids growing up in Germany learn about the Nazis.
Yeah.
The kids growing up in Japan don't learn about that.
Germany is actually the opposite of Japan, because they actually all got, like,
I was
trial,
watching
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was watching a reaction video, I admit, and there was a woman from Japan that was watching, like, the history of that stuff, and she was like, she had no idea that Japan was, like, the bad guys in World War II, like, that they had tried to take over all this much of Asia, and she's like, why?
Right.
But why? Like, why did we do that?
Well, the thing is,
she was a college-educated woman and never heard of any of this.
Well, that's the problem, though, because those same people, like the generals and all those people who did all these atrocities, no, they become the government who writes the fucking history textbooks,
the
education ministry. So they don't
Let's
include.
change this. Let's
That's why. Yeah.
We have people.
It's like if the Nazis wrote their version of like what happened in World War
right
II,
if there's no Nuremberg.
Like it wasn't really that bad. Like we killed like 1,000 Jews, and there was not much going on.
Right,
really.
right.
Like it was bad, but not too bad. You know.
Yeah.
That's what they would. It would be the same thing.
Kind of like the way the Americans,
Yeah, exactly. Just like our country does. Like we liberated fucking Iraq. Like we liberated.
We liberated all those Africans.
Right.
Gave them work.
Right.
Why despair? You're free.
That's funny.
Dude, it's insane. It's just it's absolute insanity, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's primarily just power, control, money. That's the end.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like a spin on knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Like controlling what people consider to be knowledge. You know,
The best power of all.
redefining knowledge.
Yeah, creating knowledge.
Right.
Choosing what knowledge is.
Yeah.
What's that show on Amazon where it's like the alternate history of Japan like won and they controlled all of Asia, and then Germany won and they controlled like all of Europe and like
The
America.
Man in the High Castle?
Yeah, that show's a trip. You ever seen
I
that?
haven't seen
No,
it.
no.
Yeah, it's a trip. It's like the alternative of like if America never got involved. You know? Yeah. Pretty trippy show. There's like two empires, like the East and West, basically.
It's like for all
Yeah.
mankind if the
Yeah.
Soviets had landed on the moon first. Pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
The basically the Soviet Union doesn't fall in that timeline. I mean, in that show anyway. It just kind of keeps going. And there's like one of the main characters on the Russian side escapes and is a refugee in the U.S. And the American that was helping him the whole time has to escape and become a refugee in Russia. Because she's in trouble for helping him, but he was necessary for the Americans, so the Americans helped him, but she betrayed America by helping him, so she has to go to Russia.
Dude, imagine being like a spy during the Cold War where you're like sent to Russia and you get caught. Holy fuck. Or the opposite, if you're like a Russian spy.
Or
you're
like
in
a
America.
double agent, triple agent.
Yeah, because there are tons of those, right? Like,
Become a quadruple
holy
agent.
fuck. And you got
Quadruple agent.
Yeah.
Nobody knows whose side you're on.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's on them on at this point.
Right. Right.
Did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What's his name? Littlefinger? It's like, whose side is he? He's on his own side.
Right.
He's on whoever's side he's talking to at the moment.
Right.
I mean, dude, what a travesty. That series.
Oh, yeah, the end was terrible.
I never saw the Game of Thrones. I watched it.
You can stop at season 6.
Yeah? But the last season sucks?
It's
like some of the
heartbreaking
greatest-
how much it sucks.
Yeah, 'cause
it
it's
goes
so
from
good.
being kind of the greatest show that's ever been made for
To, like,
television to absolute garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
What happened in the last season? Just the writing?
Yeah, the writers
The
like
guy?
stopped caring. They were like, "Let's finish this. I
yeah,
want to do
project.
this."
They just wanted to finish it off.
And they
with
didn't
it.
have any source material because
Yeah.
George R. R. Martin was a brilliant author, is a brilliant author, and he hadn't
So it was
finished
based
writing
on all
the
the books.
story.
Yeah.
So they were all basing it on all the books, and then they ran out of books.
Did the guy die or something?
No,
No,
he's still
he's-
alive. He just
he
is
hasn't finished
slow.
writing it yet.
There was this conversation between him and Stephen King, and George R. R. Martin asked Stephen King, "How do you write so goddamn fast?"
Yeah, it's so
Because
funny.
he'll take 10 years to write
Wow.
like.
I think it's because he like actually believes writer's block is a thing. Stephen King just writes every day.
He
like,
writes. He
relentlessly.
makes his protagonist a guy with writer's block, and then
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
comes and kills him.
Right. That's wild.
There was
That's actually a true story
There was an
in his
abusive
mind.
drunk guy with writer's block,
Yeah.
and he was trying to write a book, and then
I actually watched the
let's
first.
see, it was snowing.
I watched
Snowing
the
right
first
now.
2 episodes and I thought it was boring, so it turned me off.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
that's
it
fair
takes
enough.
a little bit of build up. It's like
But everyone says
definitely-
you have to like keep watching it. And it gets better.
I wasn't
Yeah,
into it
definitely
at
gets
first,
better.
but Gordon,
Yeah.
my good friend I was telling you
Yeah.
about, the old guy,
Yeah.
he was into it, so I kind of, just because he was watching it, I watched it, and then I eventually got into it.
I like fantasy stuff, so it's,
No, I like fantasy too. I should probably watch it someday.
But yeah, definitely, it's sad because it really shows you how important endings really are, right?
Yeah.
Because it's probably some of the finest work in television in the last decade or
Yeah.
longer,
Right.
and literally it's just forgotten. No one talks about it. Literally, it's never even discussed.
Huh.
You know?
House of the Dragon was okay. Like they're
What's
trying
that?
to do it's like a prequel. It's 200 years before Game of
But
Thrones.
they just made this up too.
No, George R. R. Martin was involved with the original author was involved with writing it because he's
Okay.
he,
But it was
he
not a
would
book-
like
it
to
was
see
not
the
based
whole
on a book?
the whole franchise get redeemed. It was based on a book,
Yeah.
but it's based on like a book that is just like real quick notes notes of like, okay, here's the lineage of these families, and they took like a few paragraphs and turned it into
a series,
the season, which is
it good?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it wasn't.
You watched it?
It wasn't it wasn't on par with early Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't have
but
time
it was
anymore.
definitely better than the end of Game of Thrones.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I got
nobody
too
got
much
time
time.
for that.
You got too much time.
Yeah,
I've got
Ryan has like 7
too much
girlfriends.
time on my
So,
hands.
whatever. I'm sorry, the El Capitan.
It's hard for me to watch series. Honestly, I like movies better because it's one off.
Yeah, for sure.
And I enjoy
complete,
I enjoy movies better than series too. Like overall,
it's complete. Yeah, it's like much more succinct. They have to cut out all the fat. With television, it's so easy
because you keep
like,
dragging it on.
Yeah. Dude, another example of a series that was great that went downhill super hard. Walking Dead.
Oh yeah. I watched the first 2 seasons. But
So good. Yeah, but after that, it gets so bad.
Lost
so
was
quickly.
another one.
I mean, like at the literally. All right, huge spoiler alert. They kill Rick Grimes like seasons before the series ends. Rick Grimes is the main character.
Game of Thrones kind of popularized that. Spoilers. I won't say who, but one of the main characters dies.
Yeah, but like not all of them. Like literally, like by the end of The Walking Dead, there's like 2 or 3 main characters left from the original season, and it's like, and then at that point, it's like who cares? All these other characters that you don't have any relationship with because they've been around for a season or 2,
right?
You know, so. I think the issue with Game of Thrones, it was more consolidation of characters, right? Because there were so many that were important in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But with Walking Dead, they removed them and tried to replace them with new ones. And because the replaceables, you had no history with them.
Right.
And then as soon as you started feeling like you cared about a character, they would kill them off, and it would make you really mad.
Right.
You'd just be like, why again?
Right.
Game of Thrones did that at times, but somehow they got away with it.
They got away with it.
It was like
I think the
subversive.
story was so
when they
good.
did it.
Yeah, the story. Yeah, it's not. They did it. It's a taste thing, right?
They were subverting tropes. Like it's supposed to have a happy ending. The good guy's supposed to win.
Yeah, Bran the villain.
Or at
Spoiler
least,
alert.
Or the bad guy, whichever. You know.
I mean, you'll see it, and then you'll be like, yeah.
I would like for Bran to become some kind of like really twisted evil, thing, like to grow into some kind of like controlling Evermind.
That'd be sick.
And then for Jon Snow to have to come back and overthrow his own brother. I would love to see some shit like that.
That'd be incredible.
That sucks that they phoned it in for the last season, though.
Yeah.
Because if you invested all this time,
I think
like how many hours did
strong,
you?
right? Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in it for the paycheck, they were adapting that material. They looked like they really did love what they were doing for a long period of time.
Yeah.
I guess
Things
the
just get
budget-
old
The
after
actors
time,
certainly
too,
did.
right?
The actors were brokenhearted toward the end. Some of them were in denial, saying,
Really?
"Well, fuck the fans who say this sucks," and it's like, okay, but it does, though.
Yeah,
They're just too attached to
And
it.
other actors were like, "Yeah, it's a really kind of a shame."
I mean, if you're doing a job for 10 years,
How many seasons are there?
There were
7?
actors that grew up that started out acting when they were 12, and then they were 20. By the time.
Do you think that's the greatest series of all time?
Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I mean, because of the ending, no.
Wow, okay. It could have been. You think?
Probably Breaking Bad is the greatest television that's ever been made. I would say. But that one's weird. Like that one's super. I don't think I could rewatch Breaking Bad because it's just so uncomfortable. It's so fucked up. But I do think it is one of the finest pieces of media ever made for television.
I've never seen that either.
It's really good. You have to be in the right place in your life. I don't think I'm dark enough to enjoy that shit anymore.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There are some shows. I mean, I'm rewatching Gotham right now. I think for the 3rd time.
Okay.
But I'm weird. I'm into Batman and shit. But there are a few shows I like Fringe.
Yeah.
That's J.J. Abrams at his best, I think.
Yeah, I think I watched a little bit of French back in the day.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. But I mean, I watched it with Gordon the first time, so I have that sentimental attachment. But
Have you seen Strange Angel?
No.
Oh, that's what's the guy's name? He was a Thelemite, and he was working with L. Ron Hubbard. Jack Parsons. Yeah, it's about him. No, that show's fucking
I've
lit.
heard about that.
No, that show's the season 1 is amazing, and then they do season 2, and it's the same kind of thing where it falls off.
Oh.
They start creating things that weren't
Did you
there.
see The Master?
Oh, what's that?
It's a movie about L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, wow.
But to avoid lawsuits.
Oh yeah.
They don't say it's L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah. I want to see
It's
that.
obviously
Who
L.
plays
Ron
it? Somebody very famous.
Oh, what's his name? Oh,
I
let me
wanna
look
watch
it
that.
up. He does such a good job.
Have you seen Going Clear, the documentary? That shit's
No.
fucking wild. It's on Scientology.
Yeah, I
That
haven't
shit is
seen
fucking
it.
wild. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I'm trying to think of media that really changed my life. I don't know. Honestly, I think probably it's not really worth watching most movies after around 2010 or something like that.
Most of them fall off.
Yeah, and
I mean, at the time, Fight Club and Matrix were like iconic.
Oh yeah, they're right.
They were a big influence on 19-year-old me for sure.
Yeah.
What movie of the year this year? I forgot.
Like to such a degree that it's hard to imagine.
Probably Superman or something. Some fucking Marvel remake.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, Fight Club, the Dark Knight trilogy was iconic.
Philip Seymour Hoffman plays it. All right.
Oh wow.
All of them are
and Joaquin Phoenix is his like.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Okay.
He plays
Those are two great actors. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Still trying to think of. Expanse was some really good sci-fi. If you're into sci-fi.
Wait, what?
The Expanse.
The Expanse. Oh, you know what movie I actually like that came out recently? Dune.
What's that?
Dune.
Oh,
Dune. I didn't see
I'm
it.
still stuck on the 80s one. I can't.
I saw the old
Oh,
one.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Was it
also a fine. That book is one of the greatest books.
I love that whole series. I even read the ones by his stupid kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? So his kid like continued it? Or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're really subpar.
Really?
But I got so hooked on that world that I read them anyway.
I just pretended that
Really
everything ended
subpar.
after the first one.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I have
just
to
couldn't-
finish it. You're a completist.
There were 6 original books.
Completionist.
You're a completionist, yeah.
100%
There's
that
6
game.
original
even though
books,
it
and then
sucks,
like
just gotta keep
100% live,
going.
yeah.
another 14 written by his son.
Yeah.
100% life. Oh, those carrots look really high quality.
I bet.
It's pretty sweet.
Organical.
Pretty sweet. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like other movies that are like
Yeah, me too.
absolutely iconic. Oh, The Warriors. That's like a cult classic.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
But it's like, yeah, it's kind of like a low under the radar film. But it's just, that movie is so weird. It's just like extremely weird. It's about basically like gang violence, right? But everybody's like dressed really cool, and then each group has its own like aesthetic style and way of fighting and kind of language and how they interact with other groups. And it's just like group battle after group battle. It's so fun. It's just a really fun movie.
What's the name of it?
The Warriors.
Okay. Sounds familiar.
Warriors. Yeah, I mean it's like an artist's dream kind of movie. It's just like so. There's no meaning. I don't feel like there's any deeper meaning or anything.
It's just a fun watch. Yeah.
I really enjoyed Sean John.
Yeah.
It's about the 6th century monk that came to Nalanda University from China.
Wow. Okay.
And then went back and brought like 600 and something Mahayana texts with him.
Whoa, that's sick.
Is it
So
Ameri-
he basically prompted like a Buddhist revolution in China.
Right.
I mean, like
who made the movie? Is it an American flick?
no, it's a Chinese movie.
Oh, Chinese movie.
But
Cool.
it's from like before COVID. And everything.
Sean John?
Yeah, Sean John.
Sean
It's like
sounds like a rapper's
XUAN,
name. Sean John.
Yo,
C-A-N-G.
Sean John. Yeah.
With subtitles,
Yo, these
obviously.
Mahayanas.
Yeah, Nalanda was a force to be reckoned with, man.
Oh, and they filmed it that was back when India and China were getting along and making movies together, like that Kung Fu Yoga.
Yeah, that's so sick.
So they filmed it at Nalanda and used
at the ruins
CGI.
and stuff?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
used CGI to make it look like how they
Wow.
imagine it might have looked back then.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
that's
wow.
pretty cool.
Dude, Nalanda must have had some special energy because, like, the Mahasiddhas were there and, like, just all the scholarship and practice that was put into that place. That was, like, the greatest Buddhist university.
So
it's the
this,
goat
like,
of universities. Of
This Chinese monk going through all these trials, going through a desert, going through all, almost getting killed, and then finally getting to Nalanda and like on his knees coming up to this like old wise Indian guy, and I just couldn't help. I wept.
Wow.
I couldn't handle it.
How was it walking around in
So
Nalanda?
classic, right?
How was
like, yes.
What was the vibe there when you walked around in Nalanda?
Oh wow!
He went to Nalanda.
I mean,
Nalanda.
I was there.
Yeah, I mean that's all relative shit, right? It's like,
I mean,
figure that shit out, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys know who Lama Surya Das is? He's like a famous Western Buddhist writer, right?
Yeah.
So he came to, I think it was Nepal. He learned like Dzogchen and like Vajrayana, right? Then he goes back to America. He wrote like some best-selling Buddhist books, right? But and then he opened like his Sangha in America. And like the Buddha like Vajradhara when he's in union with consort, right?
Yeah.
And so like so it just became like a cult, right? Like he opens a Sangha, and then like he would pull aside the hot students, like the hot female students, and it'd show them like they all saw the statue in the temple, right? And he's like, but yeah, like if you really want to achieve like the real deeper states, you got to practice with me. So he made all the hot students like No, and it's like fully naked, and he's just like putting his dick in. And then he got exposed. Like,
oh no.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, how many times have that happened?
It's in the text. It's just very traditional practice.
Right.
You guys don't bring your Western values into this Eastern continent.
Well, taking it on concerts is legit, but not like brainwashing them.
Your
like
students,
you have to do it. Yeah, your students and brainwashing them that they have to do it.
Well, this is the whole thing, right? It's like we need to separate kind of like influence techniques from actual like good instruction and practice.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to do that because the only combat that you have to be able to bring a good system into the light is to use influence techniques. And then that comes with all of the negative packages of, you can actually just use this for power and sex too.
Yeah.
You know? Right. So you need somebody like actually pretty high moral aptitude or just unviable.
Yeah. Like using the example of Padmasambhava, he didn't work with 5 women at the same time. He worked with one at a time.
One concert, yeah.
And like my mom was my dad's student, and like in my past I had like a lot of students that were also girlfriends. But and if I made statues of all of them and put them beside a statue of me, it'd look like, wow, this guy's
no,
more
but then
impressive
you're like forcing people to do it with you.
Right.
So, like,
well, obviously you don't want to force.
Well, what's the line between forcing somebody and then brainwashing?
And coercing.
Them? Yeah, that's a good point.
And the power dynamic.
Sure. Yeah. That's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, it's like not a clear-cut line.
Right.
What's interesting I found is that like the influence techniques primarily work on ego, right? So if you don't have that large of an ego, or you're just not operating out of it in general, like the techniques don't work that well. Like groupthink and like social proof and all this stuff, because you're discerning on cause and effect standpoints, not just on what other people think is cool or what you would look like to other people, etc., etc.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. I know.
You know.
I know.
Obviously, you have no fucking ego, bro.
I deleted it.
I deleted that shit.
It, dude.
I went into the fucking software.
I deleted it. Cut it off.
Straight up.
Cut the connection
Triple
off.
delete. You know, like you go into
I took out the SIM card of the ego. Fucking pull it out.
Did you see Last Temptation of Christ?
No, I should though.
Oh, what's his name? Willem Dafoe as Jesus?
Yeah, I want to watch that.
When I say I mean God.
Wasn't that movie like super controversial when it came out?
Oh yeah.
My dad's Christian, and he talked about how like controversial it was when it came out.
Yeah.
We went to like the drive-in to watch it, and like people were like appalled by it. I want to watch it just because, like, I'm sure now it's nothing, for us now, but like,
yeah, exactly.
Then,
at the time,
it's one of those time movies where it's like it was insanely, you know what I mean? Like,
like how much flack they got for making Life of Brian.
Oh, dude, Life of Brian.
People protesting never watched the movie.
Dude, Life of Brian is so fucking good.
It's really good, actually.
Dude, every Monty Python.
There was I was watching this channel. These Jewish scholars were referencing it as like an accurate depiction of that time period.
Dude, yeah, if you're a Jew and you watch that, you're like, yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was.
Yeah, we've been saying this all along. Like, it was just a fucking dude. A rabbi.
He was a man.
A rabbi.
He was a man?
Well, they view him, and he was just like a rabbi, right? Isn't that the Jewish view? He wasn't the Messiah.
Well, he was a rabbi. I mean,
no,
rabbi just means
but he was not the Messiah.
Like guru.
They don't recognize him as the Messiah, though.
Right.
Obviously, because they're Christian.
Except for the Messianic Jews. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the early days, a lot of the so-called Christians were actually Jews who believed he was the Messiah. Then later they started to differentiate and say you can't marry those people.
Right. The whole Abrahamic faith thing is pretty interesting. Then how like Islam develops out of that, right?
Yeah.
Like how what was it like Muhammad's through? Was it Abraham to Isaac? I think.
Oh,
right?
Abraham to Ishmael.
Because there's the two different. What's that?
Ishmael.
Oh, Ishmael. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. So Abraham to Ishmael, and then you go down to like he's the final prophet, right? They trace the lineage all the way down like that.
Right. Have you guys
the Quran
ever read Salman Rushdie's what's the books? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're always trying to kill him.
Yeah,
Didn't he recently get stabbed or killed?
Yeah, he got stabbed. I don't think he got killed.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not that familiar. I've heard the name before.
All you have to do is write a... So it's funny because, like, probably...
Are you sure he didn't get killed? I feel like he might have got killed. Or he got, like, severely hurt, though, like, stabbed or something recently.
No one will care because we have no platform, but he has a platform, so everybody cares what he says, right?
Right.
It's like, why is his so threatening?
Right. Have you guys ever read the Quran?
I've only read like a couple parts.
I've read some of it.
Stuff in there.
Yeah, I've read some of it. What's interesting is that it reads a lot more coherent than the Bible. Like when you're reading the Bible, it reads as like a coherent story and like has flow. Whereas like the Bible's kind of choppy. It's like random books. Like, it doesn't really
a
like
bunch of different books written in different centuries.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like apparently, according to their religion, Angel Gabriel revealed it to Muhammad, right?
Yeah, I like that non sequitur vibe though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, what the fuck is this? Where did this come from?
Yo, what up here?
That's what life is, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all just like God says that it's this and it's that and it's this.
Right, sure.
If you ever have like
virgins, I'll take those.
If you ever develop a strong interest in Sufi,
you're not interested, you know. Oh, Sufism? Yeah, I love Sufism.
Meccan Revelations.
My grandma was huge into Sufism in the 60s and 70s. So I remember, she gave me a bunch of her Sufi books I have them back in Korea.
Meccan Revelations is worth checking out. Ibn Arabi.
What's up?
Ibn al-Arabi. He came from Spain. What we now call Spain. And you know, back then that was kind of like the hippie west coast of the Arabian Empire, you know, the westernmost like liberal, you know, where like
that's where a lot of the Kabbalah, like the Christian Kabbalah came out of Spain, right?
Yeah, so much came out of Spain before it turned to, you know, all hellish and Spanish
before the Inquisition. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There were Christians, Jewish, Muslims.
Yeah, there's like Jewish
just
mystics,
regularly having, you know, great conversations over hookahs and, you know, like that kind of thing. But so that was his family. His dad was known as the Great Sheik.
Okay.
And he was also known in Europe as Doctorus Maximus. And so he left Spain and did his Hajj to Mecca, and then he ended up settling in Damascus. And so he wrote, you know, volumes and volumes and volumes. And so there's like these long volumes, but they get condensed into these 2 volumes in English called Meccan Revelations.
Called what?
Meccan, M-E-C-C-A-N,
It's
Revelations.
Like a Sufi like revealed text or something.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty brilliant. He's not like
the Sufi literature is really fun to read.
Yeah,
I like it. It's beautiful.
Not like
it's like
the
gorgeous.
Poets.
When you read it, you're like, man, this is.
He reads more like Golden Dawn type grade material, like talking about the 7 strata,
like technical, basically. And I like the more Sufi stuff that's poetic. And,
like, I like gorgeous, the poetry too. Yeah, Hafiz especially.
Right. Yeah, I went to Turkey. I got to go to like the Sufi centers and all that stuff there. That was fun.
Nice.
The dervishes, rolling dervishes and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, the whole reason that they can spin continuously is because
the butter tea. Hey, they put the butter tea on their shoes.
Is that yak?
They have to come up,
and then they put it on their shoes.
No, they have to come up to mom and get like refilled every year.
But that was counterculture because dancing was forbidden.
Right.
And they were dancing as worship.
There's like Allah is within
us. What's that gay shit over there?
Yeah. Allah is in my heart and all this shit, right? They're like, Allah's not in your heart, you infidel. Kick your ass.
Like, love letters to Allah.
Yeah. That was viewed as like really like blasphemous, right?
Yeah. But it's total Songs of Solomon. I mean, Songs of Solomon is like a really dry version of Sufi poetry.
Yeah, it's like the weak version.
Yeah,
it's like the rough draft. Yeah, that shit in the Bible is like the rough draft.
Yeah. You can tell. We can tell when to read.
Have you guys ever been to Turkey?
Unedited.
No.
Turkey's a beautiful country, man.
Not in this
it's fucking gorgeous. Yeah.
One of my good friends is Turkish. She's always said really good things about it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Took care of her dog while she was there once.
Such a cool place.
I mean, took care of her dog?
Yeah, I actually lost the dog, and then she called me from Turkey, and she's like, "Where's my dog?"
Oh no!
And I was like, "Oh, I don't like," because I was in the bathroom. I was like, "Why is she calling me?" And then the dog was just gone. It like somehow burrowed under one of the fence, but somebody found it and then returned it to me.
Oh,
so
good.
Oh
wow.
I was like,
I got a wild story in Turkey. So I was in Turkey hitting up the street, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And I ended up meeting this guy. He was like a Turkish dating coach. It was like him and his friend.
Cool.
And so like, yeah, let's go out together. And he was just telling me how like, because I met a couple I hooked up with like foreign girls there, like a couple, but I couldn't really ever get anything going with the local girls. It was really tough.
Yeah.
And I talked to like other guys too, like Rico, a friend of ours who's been to like every country.
Right.
He's dated the girls from like Brazil, China, whatever, right? Every country. But he's like, that's the hardest place in the world.
Wow.
So anyways, for locals.
I think I've heard
not
about
for tourists,
Okay.
but locals.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm hanging out with these guys. I see this hot Russian girl, end up approaching her, and bounce her for like some beers or whatever, right? And I'm asking her like, what are you doing in Turkey? I'm traveling here for a couple weeks. How about you? Well, I was actually recruited here by like these Turkish mafia guys, and they're like, I was supposed to work at this hostess bar for like rich Turkish guys, right? She's like, but I'm not really feeling it, so I'm like trying to get out of it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I'm used to it in Korea where they have the hostess bars and stuff, right?
Course.
So we're just chatting about that. She had actually studied in Korea, so we hit it off pretty quick.
Oh,
like on the
nice.
street, right? She could speak Korean. She lived there for a year. And she said she's trying to go to Japan, right? And so
come on over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It actually links to Mateo. It was interesting. So then we're having drinks, right? All of a sudden, she's like, we make out a little bit on the bar too, right? She gets a text, and she shows me the text, and the guy goes, "My boys," which is like his mafia or whatever. "My boys see you with a white man drinking beer.
Wow.
You better," because she was staying at like one of his houses or something like that.
Holy crap.
And then she starts like freaking out. Like the date, dude, the date was going so good, right?
Yeah.
Like we're super good vibe, like deep connection. You know what I mean? Because we have so much in common. Yeah, she's hot. Like we're making out, and I'm like, yeah, we should go back to this other area. I'm staying like on the other side. I want to show you. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And then she shows me the text. And then now we're like looking around, like, who are these guys, right? Oh, wow. It's not worth it to get laid, to get killed. And then the messages keep coming like, you better leave that guy right now, or else I'm gonna kill you.
Oh my god!
And she's showing me the text, like she's not making it up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, holy fuck! I've never been in a situation like this, right? So like we're looking around, and then she goes, then she starts crying, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you should like fucking get out of there, like as soon as possible. And then she tells me like, like last week he has like a closet full of like machetes and AK-47s. And he would talk about like how he killed like 10 people last year. Yeah. So I'm like, dude, you better get the fuck out.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, I walked her to like a taxi to go back home.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a trippy experience. Like, because like you would see guys. Yeah, because he was like a Turkish mafioso who ran like room salon or like Kapakura, right?
Right.
And like while we're drinking, you saw like shady dudes looking at us. So it's like clearly he has like his goons everywhere in fucking Istanbul, you know. So I'm like, dude, that was a fucking weird situation. Later on, I see that like a year later, I see she's in Japan for like a study abroad thing, kind of like she did in Korea. And then I saw that Mateo was following her. So I told him my story. He's like, dude, that's a fucking crazy story. He said he met her at a club and he like something, it didn't work out. Wasn't like my story at all, but he tried to pull it and it didn't work out. But like, what a small world though, right?
Small
like
world.
I met her on the streets of Istanbul. He meets her in like a Tokyo, like at One Oak or some bullshit like that. So and dude, he's like, oh, I'm like, did you hook up with that girl? Because we're following her, right? He goes, no, like I tried, but like something happened. He's like, well, how do you know her? I'm like, if you want to know the story, they almost got, like, they wanted to kill me. They're saying, like, you better get here, I'm going to kill you, we'll fuck that guy up too, or some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Damn, what a...
It's kind of like, what's that movie? What's the one where it's Liam Neeson in Istanbul? Taken. Remember where, like, was it like
in
his...
Istanbul?
Yep. That's Taken 2. It's Taken 2. He's in Istanbul. Was like his daughter gets kidnapped by like Turkish mafioso dudes or whatever.
What's the like the line from that movie?
I will find you, and I forgot.
I don't think he says I will kill you. Right? He says something else. He's like I will likely
because there's a meme. There's a whole meme on it.
I will disarm you.
Yeah.
I will prevent you from conducting business further.
Right.
I will ask you to pay actual taxes on your income.
I hooked up with a black chick in Turkey. That was cool.
Just having your foreigner experience.
Ghana or something? I think from Ghana.
Your foreign experience in Turkey.
Chick from Ghana. Yeah, it's hard to, dude. It's hard to meet. Dude, it's so hard to meet local girls there.
Yeah.
Ghana.
It's unfortunate. I mean, if they're
Ghana,
like,
yeah, exactly. No, but meeting local girls there, I don't know what it is. Like everyone who goes there, even the dating coach guys that I met, like they're teaching guys like how to meet. No, they're teaching all Turkish guys. Yeah. But even like this guy's like going out all the time. Yeah. He's like, yeah, it's just really hard, even if you're good at this.
Yeah, that's
with local girls. Yeah.
I think it's probably because like the fact
there's something
that
culturally.
Yeah, and maybe the danger factor too.
The girls are gorgeous too, like because you have like. What's cool about like Turkey is that you had the Ottoman Empire, right? So you're walking down the street, you just get so many different looks. Like you get girls that look fully like Arabic, kind of like Egyptian or something, and then you get girls that are like European looking, and then others that look
so funny,
like Hungarian girls almost, because Ottomans control that area too. So you get like just a mix of everything.
It's so funny. I mean, people who are like so like our race versus their race. It's like, dude, every race is just a mix of just random people banging each other.
Like back in the day, like. The actual, not like the 300 like Greek perspective on it, but like the old Persian Empire.
Yeah.
That they didn't make people conform to any kind of cultural standard.
Right.
So and they were huge.
Right.
So when they fought a war, it was like this array of all these different peoples, like completely different outfits, completely different looks, completely different manners.
You don't know who's on the same side as you because they all look different. Yeah.
Versus the Greeks.
But honestly, like going back to America,
naked guys,
going back to America, it's kind of
fucking each other.
No, going back to America, it kind of feels like that. There is no like, because like living in Korea or Japan, right, or India here, right, there's like a central culture and like an identity, and like everyone's like, even though you might have disagreements, you're all like, oh, we're all Indian or we're all Korean or we're all part of Japan or whatever, right? Whereas in America, it just feels like warring clans and factions, and like everyone hates each other. And no one really like, I don't know. There are like patriotic
in
people.
some ways, but not in others. In India, there's, you know, like there'll be a different language in it, you know.
Okay, so you think India is more similar to America?
But like a person from California can go to Georgia, and maybe they'll get into some kind of heated, drunken debate, but they're speaking the same language.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter that.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that
they both know George Washington.
Yeah. Well, Japan and Korea are different though, because it's like a centralized society. Right. Like,
but even
the same customs.
Even Japanese people tend to find like things. Yeah, I guess it's a lot more homogeneous.
Yeah, I mean, come on, like they all follow the rules. But you go to America, it's just completely the opposite.
What was that line from The Rising Sun with Sean Connery? That the Japanese look at us in our fragmented MTV culture.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a little
They're
dated.
all one people.
1990.
They're all one people with one identity. No individuation whatsoever. I like this because they like this.
That's funny.
I was watching like a YouTube video. Someone was talking about how there's no altruism.
Yeah.
That because it would make it seem like you're trying to be better than the person, than your neighbor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so nobody like helps other people because they don't want to be seen as like more virtuous, or they don't want to seem like they're, I guess, virtue signaling or trying to make others think that they're a better person. You know, so everybody is equally selfish. Like that's the standard. Is just mind your own business.
That is funny. It's up here. It's like a little pit stop or something.
Oh yeah, we stopped here. There's a view of the rivers coming together. There's two rivers come together here. Yeah.
Want to take a quick stop?
Can we stop here?
Yeah. Is it okay? Real quick?
Yeah. Just
let's do it real quick.
It's a nice thing to see.
I want to piss anyway, so.
Sure.
Like two different colored rivers coming together into one river.
It's probably cool.
The waters are two different colors.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Be right back.
So if
Yes.
hotel number, please WhatsApp me.
Yes.
Okay. You're gonna be like right here? Or something?
Hotel.
He's gonna drive all the way to Gangtok.
Yeah.
See, this is a year ago. Pio and I were right here at this stop.
Oh, nice.
These rivers come together.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. That's cool.
See, there's Pio and I last year, right here.
Oh, nice.
I sent her that picture, and she sent like crying. You know.
Aw, sentimental.
Oh, that is sentimental.
It's lovers. It's called like lovers night or something.
Oh, okay, because the two
rhyme with
Rivers coming together.
Yeah. You have memories with your wife. Me and this asshole.
And he's like, don't eat anything. Let's go. Let's get the fuck out.
Yeah. You wanted to eat mango? I'm like, no, we're good. You're like that little shithead kid. Can we stay? When are we gonna get there? No, come on, shut up.
There's some cool places to eat in Gangtok.
Yeah. That's why I said just save it for Gangtoks. Yeah.
Save what? My life?
That's cool.
Yeah, gradually the trees change with the elevation, and then once we start going up the other mountain, there's like different plants. It's like I don't know. It's like, I mean, in California and places like that, it doesn't change. The trees don't change that much from one mountain to the next, you know. But it seems like more of a change here. I don't know why.
It's trippy.
Yeah.
It's super lush out here.
Yeah. See like different trees on that side of the road, on this side of the road.
Yeah, different species. First flush.
First flush.
Moonlight.
Harvested under the moon.
Moonlight.
By a child.
Yeah. Oh.
A little twink child.
By what is it?
Fresh butt
People
child.
with disabilities or whatever.
There's a disability.
This is what Indian people with disabilities do. They have to come all the way out here.
Yo, imagine if you just like started a bunch of companies and like they employed like all these like marginalized workers or whatever, and you just did it for
Like
fun so you
Schindler.
could make fun of them.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I have transvestite farms or something like that. And like in the marketing and the text, you're like, oh yeah.
Like how people must have talked about Schindler.
Schindler. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
They're fucking hilarious. You're like, yeah, I employ all the gays.
All the what?
All the gays.
God.
I have them run around naked and pick these mangoes and call it gay mangoes.
Charge a premium.
Yeah, charge a premium with a picture of like a rainbow and a happy gay face. Yeah, hidden camera. And you resell the hidden camera footage. But you make sure that they get paid, so like they don't get fucked. But you still make fun of them.
India, there's just so much to travel. No wonder you're always doing these like little domestic trips, you know?
Yeah.
So many different areas
So
to
much
go.
to see.
It's crazy.
Big country, huh?
Yeah.
I feel kind of bad that my parents.
His mom is like 90 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went there before I left for India, he was like, "You're moving to India to live? What will you eat? What if you get sick?" I'm like, I don't, it's not like the illustrations in the Bhagavad Gita,
You get cholera and you just fucking die.
Yeah.
In front of your friends too, and then they're like, "Oh my god, are we
I'm
gonna
like, if
die?"
I get sick, then I can thank God I'm not in America.
Yeah.
Because I can actually get medicine in India.
Yeah, without a prescription.
Just go to the store.
When's the last time your parents came back?
My dad and I did a couple of cross-country trips, driving trips in the U.S.,
Yeah.
but there's still a ton of states and areas I haven't seen. I've never been to Yellowstone.
Dude, Yellowstone would be dope.
Yeah, for sure.
That area is, I know, yeah, like it's not a fun area to hang out in, Fresno, Yellowstone area or whatever, but it is incredible.
You're thinking of Yosemite.
Oh, Yosemite, yeah.
Yosemite's awesome.
Yosemite's awesome. I've been there.
Yosemite's
Yeah. It's good.
beautiful.
You been?
Well, I mean, the area is beautiful. I didn't go to the national park, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's super nice. Yosemite Bear.
Gotta hit that shit.
This is where we cross over to Sikkim.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was like, dude, already? Wow.
Different river.
Okay. Oh, this is cool. Like bamboo and shit now? Check it out.
Yeah, right?
It's like we're going to Asia
It's like,
now.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, suddenly feels like, I don't know,
Part of
Western China or something.
Yeah. I mean, we're close. Fuck.
Yeah.
Is it bird? Bird. Real bird.
That was funny. Like, girl last night, the waiter or waitress or whatever, it's like, my name is Pretty. It's like, oh. It's like, that's actually.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I was like,
Yes, you are.
you mean your smile? That's the actual name here.
It's
Apparently,
a
yeah.
pretty.
Pretty, yeah.
Yeah. No relation to pretty. I mean, the English word.
Right.
It's just a coincidence.
Believe in yourself.
Proud of that.
Believe in yourself. Believe
ACDC.
yourself.
I
Actually,
like how they
don't
have
even believe it.
No, I like how they have ACDC here. They have ACDC shirts. Like,
Never. Somebody was wearing a Slipknot shirt. I was like, holy shit.
Dude, you're really into the hardcore. Aren't you?
Yeah, I was like, what?
NWA and shit.
Sometimes you'll see someone with a Union Jack, and it's like, do you know what you're wearing? I don't think
Karl
they-
Marx shirt.
I think a lot of people,
Rasputin stick shirt.
Yeah.
You're like, what the
Right.
fuck?
Pio has a Che Guevara and a John Lennon shirt.
You does?
Yeah, but she knows who they are.
Oh.
Holy fuck, look at this fucking zooming in. There's like 9 fucking people in this car.
caravans that go from Darjeeling to Gangtok. There's a ton of them. That looks so uncomfortable. There's like 30 people crammed into one.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm already like, I have to look straight or else I get car sick on these winding roads.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If I would travel India on a budget, though.
No, but if I was in one of those, I'd throw up. I'd yak, 100%.
But like, you know, like hippies that don't have much of a budget.
Well, remember that?
You can do it.
Well, remember the German dude? He was taking one of those.
Yeah.
We asked how maybe you're outside or something.
Yeah, taking a train.
Yeah, he goes. We go. How are you getting to Gangtok?
The trains are nice though. You can get nice seats on.
Yeah, he got one of those, right?
Yeah, he said he got a nice train, and then he's gonna take the caravan with like 100.
Yeah.
He said it was hella cheap, like 400 or something.
But you probably have fun
That's
and
so cheap.
you know, like talk with the people in the car with you.
I don't want to talk to anybody. Fuck that shit.
We paid 400. That's really cheap. I'd rather just pay money and be relaxed like this.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to fucking smash stuff like
Be
this.
taken care of a little bit as well, right? Like if something goes wrong, nobody's gonna help you in a situation. But,
Right.
Well, maybe if you're lucky, if you communicate with people around you, that friendly or whatever.
I respect that dude though. He's going to like some hardcore places.
I mean, 100 countries or something like that.
What does Instagram say? Is like 88 countries, something like that.
I wonder if you can have like a before and after picture of like where he is now, having been
Like
to
his
so many
like all the
countries.
geolocations and stuff.
Well, also just like a picture of him and a picture of him before.
Okay, before and after. Yeah,
Probably looks so different.
Oh, I bet.
There was we had this at my old prep school, high school. We had this American Identity class, and when we were covering the 50s and 60s, they show like a before and after picture. Like imagine you send your kid off to college and he looks like this, and there's this fine young man with a nice haircut, looking smart. And then he comes back a few months later looking like this, and he's all, scruffy, stoned looking, and his hair
long hair and shit. Yeah.
And it's like, this person is on your staff, like he's one of your teachers. Can you guess who it is? Nobody could guess who it is because it was the most conservative, strict asshole teacher in the school.
That's so funny.
That is funny.
LSD's a trip.
The guy who teaches the economics class.
That's funny.
Really? That's him?
That's funny.
He's a reformed hippie.
Homeless people need to get jobs.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this shit.
I'm sick of these homeless.
But then his daughter came to the school, and as in 7th grade, and she had a nose ring, and it's like, there's more to this guy, like you'd assume based on the way he presents himself as a teacher that he would not let his daughter get a nose ring, but there she is.
Not black and white.
Yeah, it's right.
Everyone wants to pigeonhole them to like
exactly. Yeah, people don't fit in boxes. Yeah, it's interesting.
I remember identifying as like a Democrat like in 2000s, early 2000s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not identifying, but like.
Yeah, being like a liberal.
I just remember
I had
hating.
to switch from Green to Dem to vote for Bernie in the prelim. I mean, in the
preliminaries.
What's it called?
That's a good question. What is that called?
Preliminaries. Yeah.
No, it's not preliminaries. It's the God. Somebody's got to get it. Come on. The
inauguration.
No. Somebody's gonna get it. It's voting for the person who's gonna run.
The election.
I think it's the preliminaries.
No, it isn't. It's
primaries.
Primaries.
Oh, primaries.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna get it. I don't want to participate in this conversation.
You
both see to get it. You're like, it's you were like, do it.
But that was my sole reason for
Someone's
switching
gonna get it. Not me. You're gonna get it.
No,
I'm like, how am I gonna get it?
You kept insisting it's preliminaries. I'm like, it's definitely not preliminaries.
Right.
It's primaries. Yeah.
But it was only to try to get Bernie in was
this.
the only reason.
Yeah.
But before that, I was Green. But I mean, not that Green isn't full of shit in a lot of ways.
I mean, everyone is, right?
Yeah, their head woman was kind of like, I forget what she was going on about.
Was it
like,
Jill Stein or who runs?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was going on some conspiracy BS. It was like, oh crap, you really? Can we get what's his name back in here? Oh, forget it. I don't remember.
Ralph Nader?
Yeah.
I wonder if we had. You were kind of talking
Dude,
about
Ralph Nader's best quote. Hold on. Ralph Nader. I liked Ralph Nader too.
Yeah.
His best quote was this is such a fucking good quote. The only difference between Democrats and Republicans are which knee hits the floor faster when the donors walk in the bucket.
Oh my god.
And boy, does that cut fucking deep, right?
Yeah.
He goes, my time in the American government, that's the only difference. You want to know the big difference? When the fucking BlackRock and fucking Chevron Oil and all these the Democrats go slightly slower sometimes, but it depends on who's coming in.
Who's coming in,
and
what they're talking about.
And what they're talking about, exactly.
Well, there was that,
isn't that fucking hardcore?
One of those Hillary
I love that
emails
quote.
where it was talking about we need to, let people. We need to talk in a way that people can read into it that we're against big oil without actually
being against big oil.
Being against big oil.
Right.
Exactly.
Dude, they're so fucking corrupt.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
How do we just like lie? How do we just straight up lie and get away with it?
Yeah.
Is WikiLeaks still around?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
It is, yeah.
Edward Snowden.
It's just not.
But the main guys have been like.
Julian
Assange is, yeah, exactly. Did
like
they extradite him to America?
No, did they?
Is he in prison now?
Snowden's still in Russia.
Yeah, Snowden's in Russia.
Savage.
Oh, Snowden is.
Assange, I don't know where he is right now.
Yeah.
I think he's at an embassy somewhere, isn't he? Assange?
He was hiding out at an embassy, and then they dragged him out. I forget which embassy or where.
What's so funny is like freedom of speech, yeah, right. Except for when it fucking exposes power, yeah.
Right.
So Japanese.
Well, it's all the subtle interpretations of except for shouting fire in a crowded theater.
Right.
I kind of, if I were to time travel shenanigans, go back to like the moment that they declare the First Amendment, you know, the freedom of speech, and then just yell fire right that
Set
moment.
a fire alarm.
Before they
fire
say
alarm
except for shouting fire in a crowded theater.
You're like, what's gonna happen? Oh, you're like, oh, that happened.
If there's one thing,
You said free speech.
Yeah. If there's like one thing that I could know, I really want to know what happens when you become president. You're in the office, like what kind of shit gets
I
you
know.
Because
Someone
you know all
sits
these
down,
people, like there must be some
they take
crazy,
you into the war room.
Yeah, like what fucking guys come in there and
they show you the
shit.
classified stuff going on that day.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be wild?
Yeah, like
Just
okay,
to know
if we
what that
actually
is.
closed Guantanamo today, sir, here's what would happen. Like, oh, I guess we got to keep it open.
I wonder if they just like there's a language called the White House language, and it's like it's like Elvish or Dwarvish or something like that.
Or like if it's a body snatcher situation.
Oh, they like swap your body.
Now
with
that you're
somebody
the
else.
Oh, wow, yeah. Because remember Obama was like real.
Yeah, he
like
changed.
Remember when he turned into
Before
Bush
and
when he got it
after.
up. Before that, he was like a John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then he switched into like straight up like neocon.
They use cloning technology.
Yeah.
Candidate Obama was great.
Yeah, Candidate Obama was great.
Body snatcher Obama.
And when he became president, and I was walking around downtown LA, and all these homeless guys walking around with American flags on their shirts.
Oh yeah. Do you remember when? Obama was like counterculture. They had like the chain shirts.
Yeah.
Change and like
And
Obama
they had
on
shrines.
it. Yes,
they had
we
shrines
can and all that.
silver, like big old
No,
shrine
we
to
can't.
Obama.
No, we can't. Yeah.
Obama was like, yeah, no, we can't.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile they're burning effigies.
Yeah.
In the Deep South. And I thought that was just sort of a few isolated areas. I didn't realize it was like half the country. Or at least the seed of where we're into half the country.
So roti and chapati are the same exact thing?
They're the same thing.
So why? Is it like the word depends on the region? Or something?
Yeah. Chapati is like a Tamil word or something.
Okay.
Like a South Indian thing.
Interesting.
I think there's like slight variations, but they're basically like tortillas.
Yeah, they're the same. Yeah.
Two different
You're right.
types
They
of
are
tortillas.
they are slightly different. If somebody serves you a chapati, it does and they call it a chapati, it tends to be a bit different.
But then there's a bunch of different types of roti.
Yeah. It's a bit lighter, like probably a bit thinner. Usually they're puffed up too. They throw and
they have like bubbles in them.
Yeah, well they throw them directly over the fire and it just turns it into a little ball or something. So yeah, they end up having bubbles and stuff.
Gotcha.
And then puri is like a small roti, sometimes with a bubble in it.
Okay.
And so like puri sabzi, it's a good breakfast.
That's like fried, right?
Nice.
Honey puri. Pale puri.
Yeah, pani puri. Yeah, pani puri is like a little sphere, like a bread sphere they pour like water with spices and stuff.
Oh, okay.
They have, it's like street food on the side of the road, but it's a little bit of a, as a foreigner with a foreigner stomach, it's a little bit of a rolling the dice on whether you're going to be.
I had street food in Varanasi. I did a food tour. It was like the dumbest thing that I probably did this trip. I mean, I actually like was fine because I drank a shitload of coffee and stuff, and that really helps kind of like just break down shit in the stomach.
Right.
But yeah, like you can see, right? It's like, yeah, maybe there's not that many flies or something, but like all of the food is just like left out in the open.
That's the thing, is if it's warm and not hot, it's had plenty of time for
stuff to
things to grow.
And sometimes, I mean, people use lime and stuff to to make it unappetizing, and you can tell that it keeps the bugs away to a certain extent. Right. But yeah, if it's been out for a while, it's just not that good. Like, it's probably gonna fuck your stomach up.
And it's interesting, the spices that are like popular traditional spices in each region happen to be the exact spices that kill whatever parasites are also common in that region. So it's sort of like they evolved, you know, like the families that use those spices are the families that survive.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Those recipes. Or it's like, you know, you get sick, they've just noticed over the centuries, you know, or millennia that you get sick less if you have these spices.
Right. Yeah. Love it. Love it. It's kind of interesting, right? It's like everything that you need comes from the land.
If you just know what to use and what not to use. Yeah. I mean, it's like anything. I mean, the internet's like that.
Yeah.
Don't go on that website. or a bar. If she's got a scorpion tattoo, just maybe steer clear.
Not her pussy.
Then it's too late.
Her mouth opens up to like a demonic.
As soon as I'm done with this, I'm out of here.
You're like, well, I'm here anyways. So let's do this. Let's fucking rumble, dog. Let's roll the dice.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Like Emo Phillips. You guys know Emo Phillips? He's an old comedian from the 80s.
No.
He was saying he was at a bar and he noticed these guys were throwing darts into his head. And he says, as soon as this game is over, hit the road.
Throw darts into his head?
Or he says, I was at the bar, moving from stool to stool, trying to get lucky, but there wasn't gum under any of them.
Funny.
I'm an excellent lover, I'll bet. My parents threw quite the going away party for me, according to the letter.
You guys ever get into
does those little one-liners?
Yeah. The one-liner comedians are pretty good. Some of them are good.
Yeah.
Like the ones that are good are really good.
Oh, who's that one? Steve?
Most suck. Stephen Wright is good.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Jimmy Carr. He's pretty good. He has short one-line
Who's the one that OD'd?
My favorite is Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg.
He's the one who OD'd. Dude, he's one of my favorite comedians to this day.
Yeah, he's great.
I still go back and listen to stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorites is he goes, I do not have a girlfriend, but there is a girl who would be very angry if she heard this joke. That's such a good one. Yeah. He goes, I go to the store. He goes, hey, I went to a restaurant. The man asked if I wanted a banana. I said no. And then, oh no, what did he say? Oh, what is it? Fuck, I'm gonna fuck it up. Okay. I go to the restaurant. The man said, do you want a banana? I said no, but give me a frozen banana so I can have a. Oh no, fuck! I fucked it up. God damn it! I fucked it up. Yeah, so I can have a banana later. Yeah.
Wait, all right, try it one more time because I don't understand it still.
Hold on. It's
You wait too long, my brain won't put it together. So just you gotta fucking get on
this. I wanted a banana. I said no.
He says, I notice a duck's opinion of me is very much influenced by whether or not I have bread.
Yeah. What is it? Rice is the best thing if you want to eat a million of anything. That's a good one.
An escalator does not break down. It just becomes stairs.
Yeah.
So stupid. Wait, what's that?
I fucked up the banana. What is it? I think it's, the guy asked me if I want a banana. I said no. I said no, I don't want a banana now, but give me a frozen banana so like you need it on later. Fuck, I fucked it up. God, what is it? It's killing me now.
Well,
you know when you have it on your mind, you can't get it?
Yeah.
It's like the primary and preliminary.
Pull it up.
If I can get data, let's see. Okay. The girlfriend joke is so classic there, right? I don't have a girlfriend, but there is a girl who would be very angry if she heard this. Yeah. It's so good.
That was hilarious.
Oh, here. Well, it's actually...
My friend asked me if I wanted a frozen banana. I said no, but I want a regular banana later, so yeah.
That's it. Fuck. I knew I was fucking it up. That's such a good one. Dude, best of Mitch Hedberg. Let's do it. Hey, let's listen. Let's listen to best of Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't know Mitch Hedberg? Bro, this guy's gonna change your life.
He's pretty funny.
It's so sad that he died.
He's always wearing glasses.
Yeah.
He's always kind of high. You know?
Yeah, he died of heroin.
He laughs at his own jokes, but it's okay.
Rice is great when you're hungry and you want 2,000 of something.
So this does one-liners the whole time.
Yeah, it's all one-liners. But he's so good at it. Like they're all really brilliantly written.
Yeah, my mom loves those applause breaks.
My mom loves those applause breaks.
Refried beans. I like refried beans. That's why I want to try fried beans, because maybe they're just as good and we're wasting time.
Such a good one.
I went to a pizzeria. I ordered a slice of pizza. The dude gave me the smallest slice possible. If the pizza was a pie chart for what people would do if they found $1 million, this dude gave me the donate to charity slice. I'd like to exchange this for the keep it.
For the keep slice.
I tried to walk into Target, but I missed.
That's good.
I think the entrance to Target should have people splattered all around. I was walking by a dry cleaner at 3 a.m. and the sign said, "Sorry, we're closed." You don't have to be sorry. It's 3 a.m. and you're a dry cleaner. It's ridiculous for me to expect you to be open. I'm not going to walk in at 10 and say, "Hey man, I walked by at 3. You guys were closed." Somebody owes me an apology.
They're so dumb but funny. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I've been working. Hey.
That's right. He's so like a heroin doctor.
You guys did that for my mom. I find that Duck's opinion of me is very much influenced over whether or not I have bread.
That's good.
A duck loves bread, but he does not have the capability to buy a loaf. That's the biggest joke on the duck ever. If I worked at a convenience store and a duck came in and grabbed a loaf of bread with his beak and walked out, I'll let him go. I said, "Come back tomorrow, bring your friends." But a two-bedroom house. But it's up to me how many bedrooms there are, though, isn't it? This bedroom has an oven in it. There's a lot of people sitting around watching TV.
Yeah.
This bedroom is AKA a hallway.
AKA a hallway.
This bedroom's over at that guy's house.
This bedroom's over at that guy's house. Sorry, sir, you're in one of my bedrooms. Stay out.
If you're watching a parade, make sure you stand in one spot. Don't follow it. It never changes. And if you don't like the parade, run in the opposite direction. You will fast forward the parade.
It's super smart, like observational.
You know what, man? I got a parrot. The parrot talked, but it did not say I'm hungry, so it died. I like sandwiches, but I hate sandwiches at New York delis. It's too much meat on the sandwich. It's like a cow with a cracker on either side. What would you like? A pastrami sandwich? Anything else? Yeah, a loaf of bread and some other people?
It's all meat and like no bread. That's funny.
I order the club sandwich all the time, and I'm not even a member, man. I don't know how I get away with it. I like my sandwiches with 3 pieces of bread. So do I. Well, let's form a club. Toward this pass, because it helps me know when I'm upside down.
Where this what?
He's upside down.
This shirt is dry
Yeah, really. It's always such a pain in the ass when you have only dry cleanable shit.
Dry clean only, all right? All right, I'm ready to go. I had an apartment in Los Angeles, and I had a neighbor. So whenever he would knock on my wall, I knew he wanted me to turn my music down, and that made me angry because I like loud music. So he knocked on the wall and messed with his head. I'd say, go around. I cannot open the wall. I don't know if you have a doorknob on the other side. But over here, there's nothing. I like Kit Kats unless I'm with 4 or more people. When I wear t-shirts, I can only wear V-necks because my neck is very fragile. I cannot wear a regular neck shirt. It hurts. And I especially hate turtlenecks. Like wearing a turtleneck is like being strangled by a really weak guy.
Whole damn day.
Like if you wear a turtleneck and a backpack, it's like a weak midget trying to bring you down.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I know my teeth were white until I washed my face with Noxzema. They are off white.
They're awful.
I'm not even white. I'm off white. New race, we will prevail.
The off-weight race, we will prevail. That's good.
I saw a commercial on late night TV that said, forget everything you know about slip covers. So I did. It was a load off my mind. The commercial tried to sell slip covers, but I didn't know what the hell they were. You guys are cool, man. I wrote a script and I gave it to a guy who reads scripts, and he read it, and he said he really likes it. He thinks I need to rewrite it. I said, fuck that. I'll just make a copy. I went to the doctor. All he did was suck blood from my neck. Do not go see Dr. Acula.
Stupid.
I like to take a toothpick and throw it in the forest and say, you're home. I get up in the morning, I make myself a bowl of instant oatmeal, and then I don't do anything for an hour. Which makes me wonder why I need the instant oatmeal. I can eat the regular oatmeal and feel productive.
That's good. Pretty good, huh? He has some good ones. He has a good
That's
one.
fucking hilarious.
His one-liners, like some of them are you know, but some of them are like really hit.
Yeah.
The one with the fucking turtleneck, that was really good.
That one's fucking hilarious.
Emo Phillips had one. I loaned a friend of mine $15,000 for plastic surgery. Now I don't know what he looks like.
Yeah, find the guy. That's funny.
That club sandwich joke kills me.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like it.
Can I get a pastrami and a loaf of bread and a few other guys to eat with me? What was this?
I like
What was
sandwiches
it?
with 3 loaves of bread.
What was the-
I do too. Let's start a club.
Let's start a club. Yeah. What was the bit about sleep covers? What did he say?
Oh, slip covers.
Oh, slip covers.
They told
okay.
me-
They told me
yeah,
to
I saw a
forget.
commercial,
Just
that's
forget
all
about
they-
your
yeah.
slip cover. Yeah.
Everything you
So
know.
I
Everything
did.
you know about slip covers.
So I did. Load off my
Load
chest or whatever. Load off my mind.
And then I tried listening to the rest and I didn't understand what a slip cover was.
Yeah, he's classic. Mitch Hedberg. R.I.P. And then apparently, like after he died, like in the club scene, like tons of guys were just like trying to copy his style. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's normal. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
normal.
Here, can I show you a little bit of one?
yeah, sure.
All right.
Where did his style come from though? Like who?
Sure, yeah. There's always like, well, there's one-liners before
What's his
him.
name? Rodney Dangerfield.
Dangerfield was a good one.
He probably wasn't the first, but he definitely was a big one.
Dude,
Back
Dangerfield
when
was
there were
good.
only
He's-
like 3 stand-up comics.
He was classic, yeah.
He was the OG, right?
He's a, yeah,
One of
Dangerfield,
them.
one of them, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Richard Pryor,
Richard Pryor gets quoted all the time. George Carlin.
Yeah.
Those guys get quoted all the time.
Yeah.
Did I say Richard? I meant Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. Okay, this is one of my favorite bits. This is the earliest recorded Emo Phillips. Okay.
I inquired last today at the expense of the service station attendant. He was attempting to scrape the bird droppings off my windshield.
I see. The audio quality is just not that good.
Yeah.
It's like streaming.
Yeah, it was someone recording with like a
like a camcorder
back in 1983.
Right.
Yeah, he became famous after that, and then.
Did you guys see the
Tonight Show and all that?
The George Carlin documentary that came out like a year ago? That was so good.
No,
it was unbelievably
I've seen
good.
a lot of George Carlin, but
what's crazy is like how he stayed relevant for like every decade. Like no one's ever done that in comedy.
Yeah, because
every decade. He started in like
50s or
60s,
early 60s.
60s. So he was with like John Lennon and like those people.
Like Black and White.
Yeah, then 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way up until like he died in the 2000s. Pretty crazy.
But then he was on the very first SNLs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as an older man, like you said, right up until he died. Yeah. But by then he was just kind of doing like commentary. I mean,
he was like ranting on society. At the end,
aspects of it were funny, and the audience would laugh.
Yeah, some of it got kind of dark though. Yeah,
but it was more like he was just sort of raving. Like
yeah. Well, what it is if you watch the documentary, you realize when he was younger, he was very like optimistic and like you know what I mean. He's like. He was like pro peace, like we can make a better world, we can make equality, like. And he realized
then he kept getting arrested.
No, then he just realizes it's just corrupt as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're all fucking crooks. Yeah.
What was it? He had the 7 words you can't say on television.
Yeah, exactly.
But then he was going to get arrested for performing that, and he had cocaine in his pocket.
Right.
And so his daughter or his wife was like, "Go the other way. They're going to arrest you."
Right.
You know, or he had to do something with the coke in his pocket. Crazy stuff. And then of course he was on Bill and Ted.
You remember how like Muhammad Ali got they wouldn't let him box like during his prime for 3 years because he wouldn't fight in Vietnam. So he had a joke where it's like he actually knew Muhammad Ali too. It's like I have a good friend Muhammad Ali. He won't go to Asia and kill people. So therefore, the government said you cannot beat up people with your bare hands. Yeah, that's funny. The people who run this country, they don't give a fuck about you. They do not give a fuck about you. Like his rants good. You ever see his rants?
Yeah, he has some.
Oh, they're good. They're fucking good.
Yeah, they do not want educated people. They want you just smart enough to work, but not smart enough to know how much you're getting.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the powers that be, exactly. They want you smart enough to do their stupid fucking jobs, not smart enough to question what the fuck they're doing to you.
Yeah,
for sure. No, that rant is like one of the greatest rants of all time. I swear to God. It's like all these people like the Democrats care about me, the Republicans care about me. Yeah, right.
I'm a Democrat. I guess we must be getting close, huh? Military on the side of the road.
Oh, is it?
Behind us.
Oh, shit.
But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks. It's the same.
You're saying this like 50 years ago?
No, this is about 10, 15 years ago before he died.
20 years
This is like one of his last ones.
Maybe even
Very happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions against the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought
so fucking good.
Comedy.
Yeah, there's like no jokes in this whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
Nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on. The fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream. Because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Oh, isn't that good?
So good.
Oh,
Holy crap.
dude, that's one of my favorite bits of all time.
So
that rant,
good.
that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a comedy bit.
It's not a
Right,
comedy bit at
yeah.
all, but it's like a true bit.
It's
But
so
it's true,
true.
and it
It's
cuts.
so
When you
fucking
listen to that, you're like,
cuts
wow, he
deep
just
as
cuts
fuck.
deep as fuck. Yeah, he
just says
gets to
the
the essence
core
of what's fucked up. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
These people, these politicians, they don't
They
give
don't
a
care
fuck about
about
you.
you.
They do not
Not
give
care.
a fuck about you.
They don't care about you.
But they sell you something, the American dream. So you got to be asleep to believe in it.
What was Bill Hicks is pretty cool too. But then he'll go on a rant like that, but then he'll be like, "But that's not what you came here for." Back to the dick joke.
Yeah. Oh, Bill Hicks, yeah. I love Bill Hicks too.
Damn, that's so savage.
Yeah.
Power and control. I mean, at what point, like, I don't know. It's got to feel limiting at some point, right? Like, all this fucking wealth and power for what? I mean, you're just trapped in the same system that everybody else is, right? You, in order to keep somebody else oppressed, you have to be
Right.
oppressing them
Right.
actively.
It's power, control.
So that's, I guess that's what they assume.
What are all
the
these,
job
like,
is,
the richer
right?
guys, like, they want to escape to fucking Mars or whatever the fuck, like, all these super elitists,
New
right?
Zealand.
Or whatever, yeah.
It's the only like
They have their own, like,
island,
bunker or
total
whatever
island,
when shit goes, hits the fan, you know? Yeah, New Zealand, yeah, exactly.
I must continue my genetics, my superior baby blood
It
genetics.
kind of makes sense that like something like Epstein Island would come along, because it's like, yeah, what do you do with all that wealth and power? What's the benefit of having so much wealth and power?
Just show that you're
so
outside
like
of the
break
law.
all the rules.
Right.
It's a total ego thing, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I want to prove that I'm better than everybody else because
Yeah.
I can stand above the rules.
I can do whatever I want.
It's
Yeah,
not
and
enough to
everybody
own
else
your
has to
own
do the same
island
shit.
and sip margaritas. You
Yeah.
have to like
Enjoy,
have
actually
what you're not
enjoy your
supposed
life.
to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This still West Bengal or
It's
Sikkim?
West Bengal.
Okay. We haven't crossed the border yet.
It's crazy, all mountain roads, right? I can't imagine what it would have been like when it wasn't paved. Probably an absolutely insane journey.
little, one more.
I was gonna say a pot is a lot. Now it makes sense.
Piping hot pot of coffee. Oh, I've tried other enemas, but
I like
a
his
big car
cadence.
sick in here.
So different.
yeah.
Do you want to open the window?
Yeah. Fuck. Car sickness kicking in.
Uh-oh.
It's too windy and
You
bumpy.
want to take the front seat for a bit?
Would that help?
For maybe at the next stop.
Yeah.
For now, I'll just try to look forward.
Okay.
Part of it's just the constant turns and bumping, you know?
Yeah.
It makes my stomach uneasy.
I end up with low back issues from sitting in the back seat.
Oh, okay.
That's why I always try to grab the front seat.
Yeah.
You can lean back, not move around so much. Out of Gangtok on the 7th?
Yeah.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you? I guess you're driving.
Yeah, same.
So we're all on the same flight back to Delhi.
Yeah.
So we should probably leave, I don't know, like 7 a.m. or something.
What time's the flight again?
It's like 11 a.m., but it's, the airport's kind of far.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll have a whole day in Delhi basically, and then hit up Bodh Gaya.
Nice. And then I fly out from Bodh Gaya.
Back to Japan.
Right back to Japan. Yeah.
Directly from Bodh Gaya?
Yeah.
No, from Bodh Gaya to Delhi.
Bodh Gaya to Delhi, and then
Layover.
5-hour layover, and then back
that's
to
done.
Japan.
Hopefully you'll be in Terminal 3. That's a good place to have a layover. To Singapore airport?
No.
Never.
I want to go to Singapore really
it's
badly.
Sweet. There were these American guys that just, did a YouTube video where they wanted to see how long they could, like,
stay there?
Be at Singapore airport and get away with it. And it was 72 hours.
Damn.
Interesting.
They were enjoying it that much?
Yeah, it's huge, and there's just so much to do. And there's, like, places where you can lay down and sleep. There's the butterfly gardens with a waterfall.
What the fuck?
They're just hanging out there all the
time. Yeah, it's just
awesome.
a sweet spot to hang out.
Yeah, that sounds super fun.
When I went to Shanghai, I got to go there for a few hours.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I fly through Hanoi on the way home.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. Or Ho Chi Minh, I don't remember. But, yeah.
You got a big layover there?
I don't know. I guess I think it's probably an hour or something. I hope. I hope it's not like a 20-hour flight.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be long. I guess my flight is relatively late, right? Yeah, I get back to Japan at like 2 p.m. on Wednesday, so it's like about 14 hours.
These monkeys everywhere, it's funny. See all those monkeys?
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Love it.
Love it. Oh, man. I felt like I was gonna yak for a second. I was close. I wrote it out. I was close.
You edged.
Yeah, I did.
Yak.
I almost did. I was about to say pull over. I was about 80% there. Yeah.
I'm about to pull over and yak right outside of this car.
Jain restaurants here. Pure Veg. I noticed that. It's like a branch or something.
Pure Veg.
They have the same sign.
I think so, yeah.
Pure Veg.
Pure Veg.
Astral pipes.
Yeah, I saw that too. Astral pipes.
In Golden Dawn, astral water means toad.
Oh, it's got a cat.
So when I first saw that, I was, how do you move astral water?
It's just fucking butt to butt. Those two guys are just fucking butt to butt. No calf involved.
Like I said, I'd 100% throw up over everybody if I was in one of those little caravans or whatever. 100% would throw up in that.
Oh no.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, Yeshitokyo. Said Yeshitokyo, XRB.
Interesting.
Getting close to where we'll have to get out and do all
is this it?
our bureaucratic shuffling.
Ready.
Good timing because my stomach was.
Just throw it right on my lap, dude.
Yeah. I'd aim right. Dude, I'd literally aim right at you.
Yeah. I'd be like, yo, fuck this.
You perfect, like head to
This
toe.
guy's so annoying.
Oh my god.
Yo, let's fucking ruin this motherfucker's whole trip. His whole trip ruined.
So we need a photo and photocopy and passport photo. Place first. Yeah, like this kind of place.
Xerox, this one?
Maybe not that one, but I think they have one closer to the actual
Place.
Yeah. The market provides. Invisible hand, baby.
Yeah. Adam Smith.
Adam Smith.
My ninja.
Yeah, my ninja. You like this capitalism shit? No Xerox for you. No fucking visa for you, dog.
You have to pledge allegiance to like the king of Sikkim or something to get a visa.
Say, can you pledge?
No, he's not in power anymore. His family still lives here somewhere, but nobody knows where.
Huh.
It's the border. Yeah. Oh, okay, this is the border.
Oh, okay.
This is West Bengal.
Interesting.
So we're leaving West Bengal, and we're in Sikkim probably right now.
Oh, interesting. This is where we get like a little visa shit?
Yeah, this is where we'll have to do some stuff.
Okay.
Uncle
Okay. Yeah. And photo stat?
Immigration छ कि माथि नै यहाँनिर हो अहिले यो ओह्रालो भाग्नु ए माथि उसमा राख्दा हुन्छ
Dude, this is good timing though. Good timing though.
Just stop.
It's here.
It's here.
Okay. Here, back here?
Yeah.
Okay. And they'll tell us where to go next.
That's part.
Okay. We'll find you. And I have your number.